Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky, and as always, I'm here with Matt Stewart and Jess Perkins.
Hello, Dave.
Hello.
Hello, Dave.
What a pleasure. What a privilege.
Hey, it's so good to see you. And also you, Jess.
And also with you.
And it's so nice to be alive, which begs the question, how good is it to be alive?
Well, apparently it's so nice to be alive.
I sort of answered that Jeopardy style. Is that right? They do it backwards?
Yeah. I'm happy to be back in the podcast studio. I mean, I wish I was never born, but happy to be here with you guys.
Oh, it's been a long week. I've missed you.
Yes. I miss you always. I yearn for you.
Yeah, I burn for you.
Isn't that like... See, like saying I miss you or I have missed you is nice, but I yearn for you sounds creepy. Why?
Yeah, that's too much.
Why?
Never yearn.
What is yearning if not missing?
I had way too many drinks and whatnot a few weeks ago, and I messaged a friend, not friend of the podcast, friend of the podcast network, David Quirk, and said, mate, just got to let you know, I'm really missing you. Like 4 a.m. or something, and then the next day, I'm looking at all. I've messaged a bunch of people. I'm like, oh, the shame is setting in, and then I'm like, David Quirk, what am I messaging him about? And I click on it, seen, no reply.
No,
and I'm like, oh mate, that is a very embarrassing message. Sorry about that. And he sent something back very nice, like, no, I miss you too, mate.
Yeah, but not I'm missing you. That is different.
This would be the same night that you were messaging Jess and I was on the opposite time zone on holiday, so I was getting it
live. Yeah, in real time.
I was seeing it, yeah.
I haven't had the guts to go back and read what those messages said, but I imagine they were from the bottom of my heart.
You were just saying you yearn for us.
In the middle, late at night, I really feel love for friends.
Yeah. Not when they're in front of you, but certainly late at night.
I never did that face. I think my only response was, Matt, where are you?
Matt, are you okay?
Matt, send us your location. Do you need help? Anyway.
Yes, anyway. I mean, Matt, if you were drunk at 4 a.m. and wanting to tell people what this show is about, what would you write?
I'd say, hey, podcast, I reckon you're so talented, and I love how you sort of get the three of you together and one of you goes away and researches a topic, often that's been suggested by a listener, and then you bring it back and you sort of tell the other two about it in a report, almost like an old school report, while the other two sort of interrupt and go on dog shit riffs. I just love that about you. I'd probably say something like that.
That's nice.
I would not respond to that either. But
I'd give it a thumbs up react or something.
Imagine Quirk. I'm missing you. Thumbs up.
I'm missing you.
Or it just says, David Quirk has left the chat. There's only two of you in there.
Just Matt alone in a chat going, David, where are you?
David. But I believe, I'm a bit out of sorts here, but I believe it's Jess's turn to report on a topic.
Correct.
And we usually start with a question. Is that still the way you do things, Randy?
No, we've changed it up in the weeks that you've been gone and back and gone again.
That's right. The release order's been all over the place, but I have been overseas for a few weeks and I'm refreshed.
With pigs.
I swam with some pigs in the Bahamas. I swam with some whale sharks in Mexico.
Oh my
Very
God.
unlike me to swim with animals.
Yeah.
But it's my new thing.
Normally you're like, get out! Animals, it's my turn!
Get out of the pool. There's a seal in the pool.
Someone get this seal out of the pool so I can go for a dip.
I need to do a couple of laps.
That's Dave normally. He's a nightmare to travel with. If you're an animal. I'm a person, so he doesn't mind.
Yeah. Oh, you're fine at the pool.
I'm fine at the pool.
I think you've got to do a bonus episode one day about why there are pigs you can swim with.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I will. There's some great stories too about why.
Getting your messages about swimming with the pigs and just that whole day you had, it filled me with so much joy.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
I was like, look at this. Dave's with some pigs. I was showing them around. I was so happy.
The photos were so great.
So great.
The water was so perfect.
Yeah.
And
Crystal
so were
clear.
you and so were the pigs.
Each pig more perfect than the last.
I yearned for the water and for the pigs.
I'm missing those pigs.
Yeah.
And I've never even met them.
Anyway, we do start with a question. I have a question for you both. Which modern philosopher posed the question about the existence of life post love?
Oh,
Sherilyn.
Sherilyn Crow.
It's not Sherilyn Crow. That's Matt's guess.
Is it Cher?
No, Dave, do you want to have a go?
Is it Cher?
It is Cher.
Oh,
well
I didn't even say
done.
right anyway. Cher.
On a technicality.
On a
then.
technicality? No, Matt.
Scorekeeper, please pay the proper one there.
How?
Well, but just give me the point.
Oh, please give me the point.
So it's not, what do I say? Sure, but it's
Cher.
Cher.
And the way I
Cher.
remember that, because is her name Sherilyn? Is that right?
Sherilyn, that's
And-
correct.
And then the only, because I always used to say Cher as well, but now every time I have to think Sherilyn. That sounds wrong. Sherilyn. That sounds right. Cher.
I think people
Sharing's caring.
say either, and it doesn't really matter. But, they know who you're talking about. But I call her Cher, and I'm going to call her Cher throughout this entire report because she is the topic
Woo!
of
Yes!
today's report. And I'm excited about this one because I've put it to the vote before, and it hasn't made it through. But Cher is such an icon, but I also didn't know a whole heap about her early years. And
she's been around forever, right?
for a really long time, yes.
Like, I remember I reckon it would have come out around the year you were born, but an early pop song memory was Turn Back Time. I reckon that must have been early 90s probably. Maybe late 80s, early 90s?
It's 90s, and I will talk about it, but off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly what year. But I think it's like mid-90s.
Mid-90s, right. But
Yeah, yeah.
that was already,
Huge.
to me, she was a new singer.
Right,
But
yeah.
at that time, she'd been around for decades.
Yeah, and I was already, like, we've grown up knowing who Cher is and knowing her music, and then you see her in films and stuff, and you go, yeah, okay, whatever, it's Cher. But she has had a really interesting career, has done so many things, and has just reached this icon status. And so, like,
And I want to know when she ended up marrying the U2 singer. Did that happen?
no.
No.
What?
Sorry.
You thought she was married to Bono?
Isn't she Sonny and Bono or something?
Sonny Bono.
Oh, that's where I got confused.
Yeah.
Sonny and Bono. She wasn't even included in that.
You're going to learn so much from today's report.
Oh my god! I mean, you'd be relieved to hear she was once engaged to the Edge. Is that correct?
Sure.
Marrying Bono put me over the bloody edge. Tell you that. Sonny and Bono. So her real name isn't Sonny. Cher isn't short for Sonny. Okay, look,
He's learning a lot
I'm
already.
really looking forward to hearing what this is all about.
Yeah, well, it's been suggested by a couple of people. Emily Rose from Brunswick and Issy Klein from Canberra. And, yeah, here we go.
Big in Australia. Is she bigger here than everywhere else?
No.
Okay.
She's not like Pink. Pink is huge in Australia.
Marge Barker.
And Michael Bublé.
And
Michael Bublé's big everywhere, but, like, we fucking love
Yeah.
Michael Bublé. And we love Pink.
Pennywise, I think, are bigger here than most places.
Yeah, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you go
Australia
on?
loves
Are
Pennywise.
we bigger here? Probably.
Blink 182 broke in Australia first biggest, I think.
First biggest?
First. Anyway, please just
Broke in
go on.
Australia, first biggest.
Oh, the
So-
prize for first biggest goes to
Tom DeLonge. Am I saying that right? Have I said a single word right today?
I think so.
I don't think so, no.
Oh, no.
But that's okay.
But you're having a go.
And I keep trying. Where will I learn?
Like, Jen was really. I was hearing you were crafting an intro there about she was an icon. Like, but then how much do we know about her? Like, and then you came in and you're like, I just
She
want to
married the
know.
guy from U2. Imagine being a first-time listener of Do Go On because you're a big Cher fan.
Oh, here we go. Well, I don't know if they've already learned something new. She once married the guy from U2. Not many people know that.
And this is why I always say with, like, watching a new show, I'll always give it 3 episodes
Yeah, you
to
gotta
make
do
the
it.
decision of whether or not I like it. Same goes for podcasts.
Yeah.
You got to get to know us a bit. Trust us, we're fun.
Come on.
But at first,
We sound like a nightmare.
we're a nightmare, but you get used to us.
And there is some genuine info coming up. We swear.
Well,
swear to
maybe.
you. Okay, so over to you, Jess.
Sherilyn Sarkisian.
Whoa.
was born in El Centro, California on May 20, 1946.
I love that. I mean, the fact that she has such an incredible name and she still has shortened it to the one.
Sherilyn Sarkisian.
Sarkisian is one of the best surnames I've ever heard.
That name changes a bit. Her father, John Sarkisian, was an Armenian-American truck driver, and her mother, Jackie Jean Crouch, was a former model and retired actress who had Irish, English, German, and Cherokee ancestry. I mean, it says retired actress. Her mother was about 19 when she had her. So I don't think she wasn't retired.
Okay.
She was, maybe like wasn't working because she just had a baby, but she continued to work throughout the rest of her life. Anyway.
Oh, she had to come back.
She had to come
after
back.
retirement.
Jackie Jean Crouch.
Jackie Jean Crouch.
Such a good name.
Cher's father, John, wasn't around much when she was an infant and apparently had drug and gambling problems. Money was scarce, as were food and supplies. In fact, at one point, her mother, Jackie, placed baby Cher in an orphanage for several weeks until she could save up enough money to support her baby. Isn't that wild?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Because there was a book written about this that came out in like the 90s, so it was helpful for the early stuff. But this was there wasn't like childcare centres and stuff like that. It was the 40s, so mothers just stayed at home. There wasn't really much help. So if you're a working mother, which her mum was, like, what could you do? Chuck them in an orphanage for a few weeks.
It's cool that was an option, I guess.
It's not a good option because her mother later recalled the pressure that the Catholic Mother Superior would place on her to put Sherilyn up for adoption. Like, it's not a childcare option. It was like,
Right.
I can't afford to look after this
And
baby.
they're like, we'll take her.
We'll take her and we'll give her to somebody else, yeah? You
Yeah.
want to give it to somebody else?
We'll give it to someone else. Someone who
Like, no, thank you.
really believes in God. We'll get them in there and we'll get them to be a nun. I reckon it's
Yeah.
a recruiting thing.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you telling me that her dad, the drunken gambler, was not providing for the family?
Apparently not. Jackie would visit her every day, but that time was really traumatic and distressing for both of them. Her parents divorced before she was 1 and her mother remarried. Cher's new stepfather was also named John. He was an actor, John Southall, and he fathered Cher's half-sister, Georgianne, who was born in 1951 when Cher was 5. And now living in LA, Cher's mother worked as a waitress while also picking up more acting work again. She'd been singing from a really young age and had won several talent and beauty competitions, as well as a number of minor TV and film roles in the 50s. These included, and I love to include names of old movies and TV shows.
Yes, when nothing was taken.
Watch the Birdie, 1950. Grounds for Marriage,
Okay.
1951.
That's for like
That's fun.
The Mr. and Mrs. Ground or something like that.
Yeah. And Lovely to Look At,
Oh, that's fun too. I like that.
1952.
Grounds for Marriage is fantastic.
Ground for Marriage is
I
good
can
fun.
imagine like it starts with sort of a bit of a farcical court
Yeah.
scene and the judge says, I find there are grounds for marriage. And then
Into the theme music. Yeah.
I think that's fun.
I think it's fun. I reckon any like TV show or song titles in particular, even from now, if you don't know the song, they all sound a bit ridiculous, But back then they were particularly silly. By the mid-50s, her mum's income was largely derived from working as a club singer. She changed her name to Georgia and got roles for Sherilyn and Georgianne as extras on TV shows like The Adventure of Ozzie and Harriet. When Cher was 9, her mother's relationship with John Southall ended, and over the following years, the family moved around a lot as Georgia married and divorced several more times.
Several more Johns.
Several more Johns.
This is a prerequisite.
She had a type. From a pretty young age, Sherilyn seemed destined to follow in her mother's footsteps and pursue a career in entertainment. When Cher was in the 5th grade, she produced and performed a version of the musical Oklahoma for her teacher in class. She organised a group of girls, directed and choreographed their dances, and she couldn't convince the boys to participate, so she acted the male roles and sang those songs. She sounds like, one of those kids that was probably a nightmare. Yes, Sherilyn, I can see you dancing. Yes, you're tap dancing.
Show.
Very good.
Okay.
I'm going to put on a show for you.
Yeah, great. Can't
ready?
wait. How about you do your maths homework?
Oklahoma. Hugh Jackman played that role once. Mesmerizing.
I did a solo of that song at a school concert once.
Oh,
like
wow.
grade 4.
Okay.
Solo.
Let's hear it.
Oh, I don't remember it.
Come on, you don't remember any of it?
Give us the best bits. Give us the Oklahoma bit. But give us
No.
everything you got.
I don't have anything.
See that chair at the back of the auditorium?
Yeah.
Pretend that's your mum.
Okay.
And you're
My mum is a
singing
chair?
just for her, your
mum's
chair
a
mum.
chair.
Yes.
Mum, why don't you come a little bit closer?
I'm a chair, goddammit. I can't walk.
You got legs?
I'm inanimate. Well, okay, I've got legs. You caught me. I just don't want to get close to you. I can't lose another child. There's a big backstory. I've lost a few. Anyway, you're singing to your chair, mum. Now give it all you got.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. So fascinated by film stars, Cher's role model was Audrey Hepburn, particularly due to her role in the 1961 film Breakfast at Tiffany's. Have you seen Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Well, I said, what about Breakfast at Tiffany's at one point?
And she
Yeah.
said?
Well, I remember the film, and I said,
Yeah.
what about, well, we both kind of liked it. And then I think she said, well, that's the best we've got or something.
One thing we've got.
One thing we've got.
Man,
Sorry, I'm paraphrasing.
That's truly deep. Blew something.
So it's a
I have
no.
seen the film.
Yeah.
Yes,
What-
and also covered on a book cheat if you want to listen to it. Jess, were you on that one?
I think I was.
I believe you were.
I believe I was.
I remember it being a good movie. I love when she sang Moon River right on the
Yeah.
balcony. It's nice.
Yeah, there's
the
some
Mickey
definitely-
Rooney stuff
Yes,
obviously
the
hasn't
Rooney-
dated so well.
Jesus
Rooney
Christ.
stuff is, oh my God.
But yeah, I think that was the first role I'd seen Audrey Hepburn in, and I was like, oh shit, I get it. Like, she is captivating. So, and Cher thought the same. She loved her. She began to take after the unconventional outfits and behaviours of Hepburn's character. Holly Golightly is a bit of a, what is she? She's very aloof, eccentric.
And then how old is Cher at this stage?
She's in 5th grade. She's
Okay,
she's young.
Yeah, great. Fantastic.
The most aloof age.
Yeah.
I remember I was in grade 5. Man, I was freaking aloof.
God, you were aloof.
I was so aloof.
Didn't know anything about
You think
it.
he's aloof now?
Yeah.
God, he was worse.
Back then.
He's opened up now.
Yeah.
She was also really inspired by previous report subject Betty Davis and also Katharine Hepburn. And she wanted to be famous since childhood, but felt unattractive and untalented. Later commenting, I couldn't think of anything that I could do. I didn't think I'd be a singer or dancer. I just thought, well, I'll be famous. That was my goal.
Love that.
This is a kid. She's like, I want to be famous.
She was born in the wrong era.
I've got no idea.
There's so many people now. That's an option now.
Like Jess now, TikTok famous.
I'm TikTok famous. Several weeks ago, by the time this comes out, I had a video do pretty well.
Yeah, she's currently climbing up the TikTok charts. Am
Yep.
I understanding that correctly?
Yep.
It is a shame though. You know, Cher, she missed her chance. Unfortunately, she was born in the wrong era
Yeah.
and she never made it.
She never got to be famous. I just think that's kind of funny. I know, like, kids will go like, oh, I want to be famous, but it's funny to have the self-awareness at that age of like, I don't know what for. Just fame.
Yeah.
Fame is the goal. In 1961, her mother, Georgia, married bank manager Gilbert LaPierre, who adopted Cher and Georgianne and enrolled them in a private school in Encino called Montclair College Preparatory School. Her classmates were mostly from affluent families, and the upper-class environment was a challenge for the now LaPierre girls. They changed their name.
I mean, that instantly makes you sound very classy.
Sherilyn LaPierre.
Oh, the
Are you
LaPierre
kidding
girls?
me?
Yeah.
Georgianne
Sherilyn.
LaPierre?
Yeah, that's how they probably got accepted to this school. They just read
Yeah.
the name and went, well, of course.
Oh, my God.
I don't have to read the rest of this CV.
Bloody frickin'
Lot of names.
da.
It's kind of weird that these kids have CVs.
Why have you written a CV for your child? Despite, feeling a little intimidated by these affluent classmates, Cher did relatively well at school. She wasn't an amazing student, but she performed well in English and French, and she stood out to her peers because of her striking appearance and outgoing personality. She later recalled, I was never really in school. I was always thinking about when I was grown up and famous. She's like, remember the fame? I just want to be famous.
Yeah.
Which sounds a bit bonkers, but a former classmate recalled, I'll never forget seeing Cher for the first time. She was so special. She was like a movie star right then and there. She said she was going to be a movie star, and we knew she would.
That's amazing.
Just something about her. They're like, nah, she's captivating.
But also, it sounds like, that's all on purpose a bit. Like she's
guess,
probably
yeah.
dressing and styling herself in a way that's meant to be captivating.
Yeah,
which
she's
is
already acting like she's famous.
fake it till you make it.
That's right.
Just walk into the classroom to the teacher. Hey, baby.
No autographs,
Yeah,
please.
please.
I'm just trying to learn some French. So school wasn't really for her, and at only 16, Cher dropped out of school and left home, moving to LA with a friend. She took acting classes and worked in clubs along Hollywood's Sunset Strip to support herself. She networked and hustled like crazy, introducing herself to performers, managers, agents, anyone that she thought could help her get her big break. She's just like, she's rubbing shoulders. She's schmoozing.
Handing out
16.
cards, shaking hands.
Crazy.
Kissing babies.
Kissing babies, saying sorry about kissing your baby.
Sorry, but this baby one day could be famous, and I want to be in at the ground level.
I want to ride this baby's coattails all the way to the top. In an LA coffee shop in November of 62, Sherilyn met Salvatore Bono.
Ooh.
Oh, in relation
Bono.
to Bono from U2.
Yes, it is Bono from U2.
thought so.
Salvatore Bono.
He drops the Salvatore later.
Just becomes Bono.
Yeah.
So this is Sonny Bono. She was 16. He was 27.
Okay.
They got chatting, hit it off, became friends. At the time, Salvatore, or Sonny, was working for record producer Phil Spector, widely regarded as one of the most influential figures in pop music history and one of the most successful producers of the 60s, and also a convicted murderer. But this is way, way before that.
But he was already a psycho. I think he was nuts the whole way through. In the Leonard Cohen biography I read, he did an album with him. It's the only album that Leonard Cohen seemed to really hate. And he wouldn't be on any of his compilation stuff, and it was just a nightmare. And he said that he'd come in and he'd always have a loaded gun on him, Phil Spector, and he'd just put it down on the desk and stuff. It was just very uncomfortable.
Whoa.
That's in the 60s, I think.
He's just like, I'll just put this here.
70s maybe.
All right, you want to do a couple of vocal takes? I'll
Yeah,
just put
he
this here.
sounds like
Yeah.
an incredibly strange person. And it's funny that he's still like, you read about him and it's like, yep, one of the most influential pop figures in pop music. He also killed a person, but he's behind so much amazing music.
But remember those funny wigs he wore to the trial?
Yeah, it's so strange. Anyway, so Sonny introduced Cher to Spector, who used her as a backup singer on many recordings, including the Ronettes' Be My Baby.
Oh.
Cher's a
track.
backup singer on that song.
Great song, wow.
And the main Ronette, Ronnie Spector, is, I think that's no coincidence that her surname is Spector.
Because she's a big fan of Phil
No,
Spector.
she's a ghost.
And also on The Righteous Brothers, You've Lost That Love and Feeling.
Wow.
Cher's a backup singer on that.
These are big all-time hits.
How cool is that?
Holy shit.
So Spector produced her first single called Ringo, I Love You,
Oh.
Okay.
which Cher recorded under the name Bonnie Joe Mason.
Okay, Cher, I'm not liking it. From now on, you'll
Sherilyn
be...
Sarkisian, Sherilyn LaPierre. No, Bonnie Joe Mason.
You're Bonnie Joe, huh?
That's closer to her mum's name, that sort of vibe.
Yeah, Jackie Jean Crouch.
Yeah.
The song was rejected by many radio station programmers as they thought Cher's deep contralto voice, which is a type of classical female singing voice, it's sort of the lowest vocal range for a classic female voice. They thought her deep voice were man's vocals. Therefore, they thought it was a man singing a love song to Ringo Starr, and they were like, no.
Please, in the 60s, that does not happen.
That's-
Men do not love Ringo. We're not ready for that.
Okay.
George, Paul, sure.
Yeah.
But Ringo?
What were you thinking? Come on.
He's not even the best drummer in the Beatles.
So Bonnie Joe, but they're like, this sounds more like Johnny Bow.
Yeah. I'm saying this is a man, yeah? No, thank you.
I love you, Ringo. Something like that.
Yeah. So you know it.
Yeah, it's catchy. It's stuck in my head.
love you, Ringo.
And it's genuinely about loving Ringo.
Yeah.
That Ringo. That's so good.
And it's even like, it's on YouTube. It's in like, it's almost got a bit of a Beatles sort of vibe to it. Anyway, within a couple of years, Sonny and Cher had become a couple, even holding an unofficial wedding in a hotel room in Tijuana in October of 64. So do the maths. She's 18. It's fine.
Okay.
I mean, he's 30, but it's fine.
Why was it unofficial?
There wasn't a celebrant there or something. They just
thought they'd do it anyway.
Yeah, they just thought,
So they
fuck
just-
it, we're in love.
In a hotel room. Was anyone else there?
They hung out for a bit. We don't have to talk everything up, okay? You hung out in a hotel room.
Yeah, that's
You don't have to call it an unofficial wedding.
Matt, I can't believe you would pick a fight
With
at our
Sonny
unofficial
Bono.
wedding.
Jess, you're right. I shouldn't make a scene here in front of our friend and family.
Okay? I just wanted this to be a nice day.
No, you're right. I'm sorry.
No, it's just like they just,
They arrived at the hotel and they didn't understand the phrase, "Are you checking in?" And they went, "Yeah, I guess we'll get married."
I do.
The bellboy's like,
Okay.
Fine. Right this way."
Okay.
I mean,
The honeymoon suite, well, I guess we better.
It would be inappropriate not to be married. So Sonny wanted to help Cher launch a solo career, but this is crazy to me, she suffered from stage fright. So she convinced him to perform with her on stage to sing the harmonies. She was like, I'm too
Wow.
nervous.
I'm too nervous.
That's how Sonny got his start.
Yeah.
And is he standing between her and the audience and blocking her vision or something?
Yeah. Well, she would actually, quite genuinely, she would like look at him instead.
Oh, right.
So she would sort of be looking at Sonny and singing.
He'd stand in front of her wearing a poncho with his arms up.
Yeah.
She can't see him.
Go, don't look.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Just that somebody who's like such an icon and does these huge, like, known for these big live shows and stuff. It's so interesting that at the very start, I mean, she's like 18. She's a child.
But her whole life she's been like, "Hey, I'm that girl.
Yes.
I'm gonna make it." And then
That's
that's on
what-
stage. It's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
hang on.
nervous.
it is surprising, but yeah,
I don't want to be in front of crowds.
yeah." Well,
I
I
want
just want
the
to be
crowds
famous.
to want to be in front of me, but they can't.
But they cannot.
Yeah. Can I get that kind of famous? I just want to skip the crowd.
What fame is that?
Yeah.
That's
I just
YouTube.
want to skip to Recluse.
That's YouTube. Yeah, I want to skip to very wealthy Recluse. Alongside her solo stuff, they released music as a duo under the name Caesar and Cleo.
Okay, you'll be Caesar, and you'll be Cleo. You like that?
You like that? I love it. I love the alliteration. But their songs,
They've only seen it written down. They think
Yeah.
Caesar and Cleo. C and C sounds. That
Right,
works well.
exactly.
That works
Caesar
well.
and Cleo.
Caesar and Cleo,
Fantastic.
perfect. Their songs, Do You Want to Dance? Love is Strange, and Let the Good Times Roll were poorly received.
Right, all of them have the word Ringo in brackets. Do you want to dance,
Ringo?
Are they all
Love
covers?
is Strange. Hey, Ringo.
Yeah, they're just obsessed with.
Let the
You
good
gotta-
times roll, Ringo.
You got to drop the Ringo thing, okay? That's weird. He's got a restraining order, okay?
At the end of 64, Cher signed with Liberty Records and Sonny produced her single Dream Baby, which did okay. It got airplay in LA, but it didn't exactly grab much attention. Next, she released a cover of a Bob Dylan track, All I Really Want to Do, and it made it to number 15 on the US Billboard Hot 100 in 1965. A little fun fact that I read on this amazing Cher website, which wikipedia.org,
Cool.
says, meanwhile, the Byrds had released their own version of the same song, and when competition on the singles chart started between Cher and the Byrds, the group's record label began to promote the B-side of the Byrds single. Roger McGinn of the Byrds commented, "We loved the Cher version. We didn't want to hassle, so we just turned our record over."
And what was the B-side? Tambourine Man or something?
I'm not sure.
Love it.
Not sure what it was, but I like that they're like, no, Cher's is better.
Yeah.
That same year, Caesar and Cleo started calling themselves Sonny and Cher. Kind of crazy, using their actual names.
Well, one of their actual names.
Yeah. And travelled to the UK in July. They were told that Americans just didn't get them. And if they were going to make it big, they had to go to England.
Okay. And they're like, "That's where Ringo lives."
Oh my God, yes,
No
I'll go.
coincidence.
I'll go.
They
I'll
don't
go
get
to
us
Ringo.
here. You're at 15 on the charts. Yeah, they don't get
They
it.
don't get
They don't
us.
get it.
They don't get me. According to writer Sintra Wilson, English newspaper photographers showed up when Sonny and Cher were thrown out of the London Hilton because of their outfits.
Well,
the night they
were
arrived.
dressed as bride and groom, unofficially.
I'm going to need to see a marriage license.
What does it take to get kicked out of the
I don't know.
Hilton?
Just their outfits were maybe they were too scantily clad, or
Was she
maybe
wearing her turn back time arseless chaps?
who knows. So then the press turned up, and literally overnight they were stars. London went nuts.
Amazing.
Like getting kicked out of a hotel. Incredible.
This is still from Wilson. London went gaga for the heretofore unseen Sonny and Cher look, which was neither mod nor rocker. It's like it's more about their fashion.
Yeah. Back then, you could be one of two, mod or rocker.
Mod or rocker. And if
Now
you
you
had
can
something
be-
else, like, what?
All of a sudden, there's two more options, Sonny and Cher.
I'm Sonny. On top of this attention, their song I Got You Babe was going really well, reaching number 1 on the Billboard charts and was one of the biggest selling and most beloved pop rock hits of the mid-60s. As the song knocked the Beatles off the top of the British charts,
Cop that, Ringo.
English teenagers began to emulate Sonny and Cher's fashion styles, such as bell-bottoms, striped pants, ruffled shirts, industrial zippers, and fur vests.
Oh, no wonder they're kicked out of the Hilton. My God.
Fur vests.
Upon their return to the US, the duo made several appearances on the teen pop showcases Hullabaloo and Shindig.
Oh, yeah.
Shindig has an exclamation mark. Hence my
I felt that.
tone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you exclaimed
I
it.
performed it. And they completed a tour of some of the largest arenas in the US. So they've just like blown up really quickly, all because of I Got You Babe.
Wow.
Their shows attracted Cher lookalikes. Girls who were ironing their hair straight and dyeing it black to go with their vests and bell-bottoms. And Cher expanded her creative... She ended up designing a clothing line.
Wow.
They just like really quickly were huge. Like overnight, they're massive. All within the same year, they released their first album, Look at Us. Which
Oh, she's changed her tune.
It spent 8 weeks at number 2 on the Billboard 200, behind the Beatles' Help. So, Ringo.
Right. He was crying out because they were really getting, stalkerish.
Yeah.
That's amazing so that was like peak Beatles when...
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I didn't realize, that they went that far back, but of course they did.
Yeah.
I Got You, Babe. That's still probably one of the most iconic duets, right?
Yeah.
With Islands in the Stream.
Yeah.
What else is up there? They're the two big ones, I reckon. People are yelling at their iPods right now.
Yeah.
They're saying, what about A Christmas Jewel by Cyndi Lauper and the Hives? I'm like, well, it's a great song, but I don't think it's quite
It's not
as
at that
iconic.
level.
What about And Then I Go and Spoil It All? Is that like father and daughter?
Like
Oh,
I
Frank and-
love you.
Is it-
Nancy.
Frank and Nancy, mate.
Weird.
That is a bit weird.
But
That
Great
is something
duet.
stupid, Frank. Honestly,
Frank.
please stop.
Don't tell your daughter you love her.
yeah,
Is that
never
what you're
say
saying,
that.
Matt?
Never say
Is that
that.
what you're saying?
I think that's a good rule to live by. You don't want to soften them up.
Yeah, nah.
Remember, I am a million years old. I kind of do things a little old school.
That's true. I have to remember that
Yeah,
sometimes.
Frank's not just a young man to this.
Yeah.
It's really a cultural difference
Yes,
between us, isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
Frank, young buck.
If anything, you're quite progressive for being on a podcast with a woman
Yeah.
that
That's
you're not
right.
married to
Yeah.
yet.
Well, not officially.
You've checked it.
Yeah.
Another thing from that Cher website, wikipedia.org, Sonny and Cher charted 10 Billboard Top 40 singles between 1965 and 1972, including I Got You Babe, Baby Don't Go, The Beat Goes On, All I Ever Need Is You, and A Cowboy's Work Is Never Done.
It's a real wild card.
At one point, they had 5 songs in the top 50 at the same time, a feat equaled only by the Beatles and Elvis Presley.
Wow.
Huge. Together, they sold 40 million records worldwide and had become, according to Time magazine, rock's it couple. Wow. Huge. So just like, in the span of a few years, they have blown up.
I had no idea they were that big.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've only heard of I Got You, Babe,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. And I guess they did have a long-running career. But yeah, it's definitely the biggest for sure. And alongside the huge success of Sonny and Cher, Cher was still releasing solo stuff too and doing really well as a solo artist. Her song Bang Bang My Baby Shot Me Down,
Oh, yeah.
which,
Nancy Sinatra sang that as well, didn't she?
I knew it as a Nancy Sinatra song, but it was originally Cher and it was written by Sonny.
Oh, I didn't realize. That's
Me
a great
either.
song.
I know, isn't it? It reached number 2 in the US and number 3 in the UK and became her first million-seller solo single. So yeah, that was just a fun little fact that's actually a Cher song. I didn't know that.
That is a fun fact. Jess,
I knew
I'm
it.
learning today.
Are you? I'm
Could use a
yearning
few more
today.
laughs. You are.
I'm yearning.
I'm burning. Can we turn the heater down?
Yes.
Oh, it was a joke.
But no. Dave, what are you doing today? If Matt's burning and I'm yearning.
I'm earning.
Hell yeah, baby.
Hell yeah. I'm never off the clock.
Okay, so you're buying lunch today. Fantastic.
No.
Easy. But this meteoric rise was unsustainable, and by the end of the 60s, Sonny and Cher's music was failing to chart. Heavier electric guitar-driven music was becoming more popular, and it made Sonny and Cher's folkier sound seem bland in comparison. Cher later said, "I loved the new sound of Led Zeppelin, Eric Clapton, the electric guitar-oriented bands. Left to myself, I would have changed with the times because music really turned me on." But Sonny didn't like it, and that was that. And that seems to be a recurring thing.
Right, he was turned off.
He was turned off by it.
He would have been like middle-aged by this point.
Yeah, right.
These loud guitars.
I don't
Whereas
like
she's in her 20s still going, I'm loving these new
This is
guitars.
great.
Yeah.
They started to lose popularity due to a couple of pretty funny factors. Firstly, they were a monogamous married couple in the age of sexual revolution, and they took on an anti-drug position in the late 60s. So people were like, you guys are squares.
Well, yeah, come on. Find
Boo.
out. Have sex with someone else. Do some pills. Woo.
Take some acid, fuck around, or you're boring. So they thought, we need to win back the youth.
What are they going to do?
What do the youth want? So they produced and starred in a comedy, musical, Western film called Good Times.
Oh, yeah.
And it was commercially unsuccessful.
Oh, no. Not Good Times.
You never believe it. The kids didn't want a comedy, musical, Western. But throughout Sonny and Cher's career, and indeed in Cher's solo career as well, there are times where they're just not that popular. They're like some projects flop, others are massive hits. But I mean, it's a career that spans 60 years. So that's inevitable. But she's always done fine for herself.
It must be pretty unique to have such big hits in at least 3 entirely different eras.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I can't think of anyone else. Maybe Elton John has done something like that.
She's set records. She's incredible. So her next album was called Backstage. This is in 1968, in which she explores diverse musical genres, including Brazilian jazz and anti-war protest songs. And it was not a commercial success.
But it doesn't sound like you're thinking it will be, do you? You're
She's
not doing
just
those kind
trying
of things
stuff.
for commercial success. You're doing
Yeah.
that for, probably artistic experimentation.
Yeah, exactly right, for growth. But meanwhile, the relationship between Sonny and Cher began to unravel a little bit. Despite Sonny dating other people, the couple officially married after she gave birth to their only child. So they properly tied the knot. They mortgaged their home to make a film called Chastity in 1969, which Sonny wrote and produced, but Cher starred in. And again, the film didn't do super well, but critics noted that Cher had some decent acting chops. Q Magazine wrote, Cher has a marvellous quality that often makes you forget the lines you're hearing.
It's because she speaks so low.
So you get to the end of the movie and you go, I have no idea what that was about.
But I loved it.
I loved it. The vibe of it was fantastic.
Just beautiful.
It makes sense that a film called Chastity would fail in 69, right? It doesn't, it's not a nice, what do you call that? Synergy there.
I forgot what the...
That's like, the late 60s, it's all about free love, man. Not chastity, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dave's looking awkward. He's like, there's never been a bad time for chastity.
Yeah, chastity
There's
rules.
never been a better time for chastity.
It's I've forgotten what the synopsis was. It's a romantic drama, and it's about she runs away to Mexico. Pretty exciting stuff.
Right. And it flopped.
It didn't do great, but people were like, well, she can act. At one point, they were...
Chastity. Oh, God.
Flaccidity.
Then it flopped and chastity. There was some sort of link there, but...
Flaccidity.
And I accidentally said flaccidity.
No, that's the link. You nailed
was probably
it.
the link.
Flopsity. Flopsity. I think that's it.
One of these episodes where I ask you, please edit me out.
I feel like you should write biting reviews. Chastity, more like flaccidity.
And people are like, what?
And then you just write an ambiguous 3 stars.
Did you like it or not?
He's confusing, but I just want his approval.
I don't know. I don't really remember what he says, but I like his vibe.
At one point, trying to sort of pull themselves out of a low point, the duo had a nightclub routine, which kind of sucked.
What?
According to writer Cintra Wilson, their lounge act was so depressing, people started heckling them.
No, that's the saddest thing I've ever
No, wait.
No.
Then Cher started heckling back.
Okay, that's
Sunny reprimanded her, then she'd heckle Sunny. The heckling became a highlight of the act and attracted viewers, so people liked that she was sassy. Television executives took note, and the couple began making guest appearances on primetime shows. So just Cher being herself.
right. But like with the primetime shows, like Jerry Springer, like yelling at, like what's going on?
In fact, after seeing them guest host on The Merv Griffin Show in 1971, CBS head of programming Fred Silverman offered Sonny and Cher their very own TV show. Their show, The Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, premiered as a 6-episode summer series in 1971, just like filling a gap over summer. And it was such a rating success that it was made a full-time show that December. It aired for 3 years and attracted more than 30 million viewers weekly.
No,
Wow.
way.
It was huge.
And they were so passé, like just like what, a year before,
Yeah.
They're like
2
a bit,
years
like
before.
a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Now they've got this huge TV
and
show.
they just because luckily they were so bad they got heckled.
Yeah. But then
If they were all right enough that people sort of politely enjoyed
Yeah.
it, then we would never have heard of them.
and I think this is part of why Cher has had such a long career and why she is so widely liked is that she comes across quite genuine. She's herself. She's sassy and like a bit cheeky and she doesn't give a fuck and she takes no bullshit. And it's like people were attracted to that in the 60s. They were sort of like, I like this lady.
Yeah.
And I just think that's really cool. So yeah, their show is huge. It was praised for its comedic timing and deadpan Cher, who was mocking Sonny about his looks and short stature. People were like, that's funny. Her music career ebbed and flowed along this commercial TV success. Her single Gypsies, Tramps and Thieves was the first single by a solo artist to rank #1 on the US Billboard Hot 100 chart at the same time as on the Canadian singles chart. It's one of those rules of like, the first to do these two specific things.
Shocking. But no, I know that one.
Billboard called
I'm
it...
up to 2. No, 3.
Well, that's not bad.
Hey? We got a counter going.
Well, that song Billboard called one of the 20th century's greatest songs.
Wow.
Huge.
Can't say it anymore, though.
Shouldn't. She had some great success working with producer Snuff Garrett.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible name.
Snuff.
She worked on, I think, a couple of albums with Snuff Garrett, but
Funny to think that out of the two producers, you've got Phil Spector and Snuff Garrett. Guess which one's crazy?
Snuff's a mild-mannered man.
Snuff sounded great. Like he sort of got some really good stuff out of her. A lot of the stuff they worked on did really well, and Sonny would sort of like protest a little bit here and there, or act as if he knew best. But then Snuff's decisions would do really well. So anyway, Garrett left after the release of the 1972 album Foxy Lady over disagreements with Sonny about what kind of material Cher should release. At Sonny's insistence, in 1973, Cher released an album of songs called Bittersweet White Light, which was commercially unsuccessful.
Okay, so he's got a bad
Compass.
Vision. That's what you were miming?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? You can be honest if it wasn't.
There's another word.
Foresight. Vibe. Bad
Predictions.
brain.
He had a bad brain.
He had a bad brain.
Bad back.
He had a bad back. We've all been there.
He was getting old.
Other songs and albums did well, and Cher even released a greatest hits album in 1974.
50 years ago.
And according to Billboard magazine, it proved her to be one of the most consistent hitmakers of the past 5 years, as well as a proven superstar who always sells records. So she's smashing it. It's the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
It's so long ago, and she's doing so well. It's crazy. A little fun fact I read as well. In 1976, Mega Toys released a line of toys and dolls in the likeness of Sonny and Cher, which coincided with the popularity of their TV show. The miniature version of Cher ended up being the highest-selling doll of 1976, surpassing Barbie.
Whoa.
Wow.
And we just did a Barbie episode, so I was like, that's crazy.
And late in the episode, there was a reference to the Cher Barbie. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and I was sweating because I was writing this report.
Oh, interesting.
But then I did that thing of like, don't make any comments because they'll know, but nobody will ever know. Anyway,
Were you worried that AJ would be like, actually, I've also got a bonus Cher report we
and
can
I'd
do
be
right
like,
now?
No! Shut up! And luckily he didn't. So they're huge stars, they're doing really well commercially, but behind closed doors, it was a different story.
Oh, they did an unofficial divorce.
Same hotel room.
From late 1972, Sonny and Cher's marriage was on the rocks, but their TV show was doing really well, and audiences loved when their daughter joined them on the show as well, and the three of them appeared to be a perfect family. So they kept up appearances for a couple of years.
Wow.
But essentially had separated. In February of 74, Sonny filed for separation, citing irreconcilable differences. A week later, Cher countered with a divorce suit and charged Sonny with involuntary servitude, claiming he withheld money from her and deprived her of her rightful share of their earnings. The couple battled in court over finances and the custody of their child, which was eventually granted to Cher. In 74, Cher won the Golden Globe for Best Actress for the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour. The same year, Sonny premiered a solo show on the ABC, the Sonny Comedy Review. And it was like, I think it was the same sort of creative team behind Sonny and Cher, and it was cancelled after 13 weeks. So he goes solo, does his own show, does not do well.
Yeah, it's hard when the straight man goes solo, probably.
I am so short, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, God, I'm ugly.
Oh,
God. Yeah.
hey, don't say that to me.
Not good.
I've still got 13 weeks out of that.
Yeah.
So that was 74. He did his solo show. In 75, Cher returned to TV with a solo show on CBS. It was called Cher. And it began just sort of like as a big special, and it had like Elton John and Bette Midler on it as guests. And it was produced by David Geffen, who she was dating at the time, and centered on her songs, monologues, comedy performances. Early critical reception was favorable. The LA Times exclaimed that Sonny without Cher was a disaster. Cher without Sonny, on the other hand, could be the best thing that's happened to weekly television this season.
Imagine reading that.
She's crushing it.
Brutal.
You're both feeling bad for him. Don't worry about it. He's fine.
No, I mean, I'm not really. He's dead.
Yeah.
You don't feel sorry for dead people?
You can't feel bad for dead people?
Well, I was always told as a kid, never feel sorry for the dead. Don't feel sorry for the dead.
Right.
You haven't heard that?
No. I weep for the dead. God, I feel sorry I pity them.
I find funerals to be joyous.
I'm patronising in my pity for the dead.
Yeah.
I'm really like, oh, you know?
You're right. But I just had a flashback. He died in a full-on way.
I'll get to that. So Cher's TV show lasted a year, mostly because she found it exhausting to do it on her own. It's like it probably could have continued going, but she was like, this is fucking exhausting. According to The Ringer's Lindsay Zolads, Cher found the network censors to be more watchful than they were when she was married to Sonny. When she was single or casually dating, Cher always seemed to pose more of a threat to the status quo than when she did when she was Sonny's wife, which is yuck. So they're like, I don't know if you can be doing these things unless Sonny's also on the screen too. Whatever.
That's so weird.
People might be getting ideas out there.
Yeah, that women are allowed to speak. In June of 75, she married musician Greg Allman of the Allman Brothers.
Is that them?
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say yes.
I'm also going to say yes.
That didn't sound anything like it, but
But that song.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the Allman Brothers.
So they got married in June. She filed for divorce 9 days later
Oh,
because of his heroin and liquor problems, but then they reconciled within a month.
all right.
So together they had a son, Elijah Blue, in 1976. And then Sonny and Cher reunited on TV. It came back in Feb of 76, but she had her son in July of 76. So she was pregnant with her new husband's child while doing a TV reunion with her ex-husband. It was called The Sonny and Cher Show, and it was the first show ever to star a divorced couple.
We're truly living in a new age.
Yeah, very exciting times.
I reckon Sonny, if he got that request, Cher's wondering if you want to do a show together again. I reckon he probably would have played it pretty cool.
Oh, check my calendar. Check it. He puts the phone down and goes, yes. Yes.
I've got a lot going on in my solo career, obviously.
It's Sonny's time to shine. Yes.
Next week, did you say?
Yeah.
Look, I can shuffle some stuff around and make it work, but I'd really appreciate more heads up next time.
And don't worry, I'm looking uglier than ever. You can really
She's
let
gonna
me
love
have
it. It was a rating success on its premiere, but their banter about their divorce, her reportedly extravagant lifestyle, and her troubled relationship with Greg Allman, it caused a bit of like a public backlash, and eventually the show was cancelled in August of 1977, but it still went for like a year and a bit. So they're doing fine.
So the backlash was they're just like, this is a bit uncouth.
Yeah, I think so. They didn't really they liked the banter while they were a happy married couple.
Isn't that funny? Because like that old school, you think of old school American comedy from those days and it's like, my wife, that sort of stuff. So it's all right if they're together. You can hate each other together.
Yeah.
But if you're okay with each other apart, that's no good. That's setting a bad example.
Yeah. It's
So
very
funny.
strange. Her next couple of albums were commercially unsuccessful, and writer Keith Tuber has an idea of why. He said, a weekly television series can spell disaster for a recording artist. Regular exposure on TV allowed people to see and hear these performers without having to buy their records. And that's what happened to Cher. So people are seeing her sing and be funny on TV weekly. They're like, well, I don't need the album.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting enough of her. So that's interesting. She and Allman recorded an album together called To the Hard Way and divorced shortly after the release.
I think that would have been great because it would have been him being like, I think that would have been sick.
Yeah.
Is that kind of how it's
I think it's nice. And I didn't quite get it at first because I think like as a duo, they were Allman and women or woman or something like that. And I was like, the fuck? Then it's like all men and woman.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's pretty funny, I guess.
That actually works really well.
Yeah.
That's actually super
I
clever.
was like, holy fucking shit, that's good.
Oh, you put the phone down and went,
Yeah.
yes.
I had to hold onto the table. I was like, whoa!
Old man and woman, yes.
Matt is gripping the table for dear life.
Yeah, that's what I did. It was crazy.
Oh, man and woman.
It's good
God,
stuff.
that's fucking perfect.
So they split up shortly after they released this album
I mean,
together.
there's nowhere to go after that.
Yeah, you've peaked.
It's that good.
She had a 2-year relationship with Gene Simmons, which I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool. And in 1979, she changed her name from Sherilyn Sarkisian Lapierre Bono Allman
So she's just collecting these names.
to just Cher.
Did she actually collect all those names?
Yeah.
That is fucking awesome.
Sherilyn Sarkisian Lapierre Bono Allman.
Wow.
Bono Allman.
I think much more efficient where she landed.
I agree. Just Cher. She launched a comeback single and album, both called Take Me Home, and capitalized on the popularity of disco at the time. Both the album and the single became instant successes, remaining bestsellers for more than half of 1979. This is a quote from Cher. I never thought I'd want to do disco, but it's terrific. It's great music to dance to. I think the danceable music is what everybody wants. Cher with a hot take there. Disco, good for dancing.
She just seems
haven't
like
thought about it.
she just tries stuff and goes, yeah, cool.
I'm into it.
Hey, I never thought I'd like that, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I love
Positive.
And she's probably loving it. She's like, I'm still famous.
that. Still famous.
That's all I wanted
That
to
was
be.
the goal.
When I said before 3 distinct eras, it's way more than that, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 7.
It keeps going.
Yeah, incredible.
It's wild. In a change of pace in 1980, she formed a rock band. called Black Rose. And although she was the lead singer, she didn't receive top billing because she wanted to create the impression that all band members were equal, except for the fact that at the same time that she was singing in the band, she was also doing a residency show at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, earning $300,000 a week.
Whoa.
In 1980.
Whoa.
But we're all equal. Okay, I don't want top billing. Despite
As she helicopters into their band practice in a garage.
And this is the time where she had she cut her hair really short and had it sort of not really short, but she's had really big spiky hair for a while. If you can picture that at all,
I can't picture that.
I reckon you'd have seen pictures, but she sort of went a bit more of a rocker kind of look. And despite appearances on television, the band failed to earn concert dates, and their album Black Rose received unfavourable reviews, and they disbanded.
Failed to earn concert dates? So no one would just book them?
Yeah, I guess so.
Could we get
So you're talking about so sort of that
very 80s.
80s,
Yep.
big hair.
Yeah.
Sort of, it's like a mullet, basically.
That's her more in a rock.
Like a
kinda
poodle
look.
mullet.
Yeah.
The kind of haircut that Rod Stewart has
Yes.
kept forever.
Yeah.
The exact thing that if you asked a costume shop for an 80s wig,
Yeah,
what they're going to
yeah,
give you.
Yeah, they're going to give you that. Her Vegas residency was the beginning of a 3-year world tour, which yielded 2 TV specials as well. So Cher's doing just fine. Black Rose has split up, but Cher's crushing it. She's fine.
But they're all equal.
They're all equal.
But was Black Rose, was it good music or?
I don't know. I didn't recognize any of the songs. I haven't listened to much or any of Black Rose. It was just kind of interesting to mention that she also was in a rock band for a while.
I just think it's fun that she's trying out different stuff everywhere she goes.
Yeah, totally. And her her music crosses genres and she does all sorts of stuff and she gives stuff a go. She later recalled, "I was making a fortune on the road, but I was dying inside. Everyone kept saying, Cher, there are people who would give anything to have standing room only at Caesars Palace. It would be the pinnacle of their careers. And I kept thinking, yes, I should be satisfied, but I wasn't satisfied." She wanted to further develop her acting career, and so she moved to New York with the plan to take acting lessons from Lee Strasberg. Which is kind of cool. She never enrolled in the classes, but that was the plan.
I mean, Cher, when you don't enroll, you just turn up.
Just turn up.
You walk into a class and you say, everyone out.
Strazzy, baby.
Where do you need me? Show me my mark.
Yeah. Line. She ended up landing a role in the Broadway stage production of a play with one of the longest titles I've ever seen. Come back to the five and dime, Jimmy Dean, Jimmy Dean. Come back to the five and dime, comma, Jimmy Dean, comma, Jimmy Dean.
Okay.
Oh, you weren't fumbling over it there. It actually says Jimmy Dean twice. Maybe the person writing it down. All right, I got an idea for a show.
That's a long title.
But they were on 2 calls at the same time. I'll meet you down at the five and dime, Jimmy Dean. Jimmy Dean. Is that it?
Okay, got it. Roger that. It's long, but I guess it'll all make sense in the play.
What is a five and dime? A dime is a certain American coin. Is a 5 also an American coin?
Maybe it's about coins.
Maybe it's like a coin shop.
The five and dime.
She was cast in the film adaptation later that year, and from that role was cast opposite Meryl Streep and Kurt Russell in the 1983 film Silkwood. But audiences weren't really used to the idea of Cher as an actress, and she later recalled attending a film preview during which the audience laughed when they saw her name in the credits. So at the very start, she's in a premiere.
Oh my God.
Cher comes up on screen and the audience laughs because they're like, oh, okay.
Oh, no.
But she's a comedian. That'd be the best. Imagine just your name brings out laughter.
Yeah.
Dave Warnock. That is good. He has a funny thing about him. Can't remember a word he said, but man,
God,
he's funny.
captivating.
I guess it would be like if the movie came out and said Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep, Carrot Top. You'd be like,
You'd be
okay,
like,
going to be the funny guy in the movie.
What's happening here?
You think Carrot Top and Cher are sort of...
No, but you're talking about she's known for her comedy roles at the time.
Yeah.
Maybe you go,
I think probably the equivalent these days would be Rove McManus.
Okay.
Done Tonight shows.
Yeah.
Released hit records.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd see that and go, okay, here we go.
Here we go. Rove? Acting?
I don't believe
can't wait
it.
to see it.
But despite those laughing audience members, For her performance, Cher was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, and she won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress.
That is incredible.
She was actually really good.
People laughed when
People
they
were
saw
like,
it.
Cher's in it, lol, and then she was amazing.
And they read out the nominees and they read out Cher's name. Everyone
Everyone
laughs.
laughs.
And she wins the award. They
They
read out her name. They laugh. She
laugh.
does their acceptance
Speech
speech
and they
thing.
laugh.
And the Academy Award for Best Actor goes to Carrot Top.
Her next few roles received critical praise, and she was well and truly a movie star now. For her performance in the 1987 film Moonstruck, she won the Academy Award for Best Actress and the Golden Globe for Best Actress.
Starring our main man, Nick Cage.
That's right.
She won the Best Actress Award.
Yes.
Didn't know that. Wow.
Isn't that crazy? She also revived her music career once again. This is in 1987, releasing her 18th studio album
Whoa.
in 1987.
That's a lot of albums.
The album was called Cher.
Oh.
Okay.
18
rebirth.
albums.
I love a late career self-titled.
I love it.
How do you feel about them?
I prefer it. I don't necessarily love a first album self-title.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, mate.
Okay.
All right,
Really?
mate.
Because it sort
Actually,
of makes some sense.
I'd be calling my first album Best Of.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be pretty funny.
I'd call
That'd
mine-
be pretty funny.
And I'm a funny band,
yeah.
but not like my content isn't funny. I'm just a bit funny.
Yeah.
Funny in the head.
Did Weed Hornet ever do a self-titled?
The EP that we recorded was just called Weed Hornet.
Yeah.
The Weed Hornet EP.
And that's why Weed Hornet is a was and not an is.
Sunk without a trace.
I'm sorry if 6 million copies isn't that impressive to you, okay?
It's not.
It's not. 15 in the US Hot 100, great. But
Yeah, great. We've got to
not
go to
top
England.
10.
We've got to go to England. They don't give a shit about us here.
Yeah. Can we get, because I'm sure some listeners want it, can we do another run of the EP on Do Go On Records? Can we start a label?
Our first release is a re-release of 2004's Weed Hornet EP.
Yeah. Our second release is Jess Perkins singing all the roles for Oklahoma.
All the roles,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cher style.
Cher style.
but on different tracks. So you have to get like 18 copies of the CD and play them at the same time to hear the whole musical.
Oh, Dave, no. We'll do that work for him. It'll already be. Although that's not a bad idea. Always earning.
Exactly.
I'm burning, you're earning.
You got to sell 18 times as many copies.
There was a I don't think I ended up mentioning it in the report, but there was at one of Cher's like TV specials she did. There's a 15-minute sketch essentially, which is just her doing all the characters of West Side Story.
Wow.
And it's amazing, and it went viral like a few years ago. It sort of resurfaced online, and people were just like, "It's just Cher doing all the characters."
15 minutes is a long sketch.
Such a long time. It's so good. Anyway, so she's released Cher, the album.
And she's won an Academy Award.
She's won an Academy Award.
Incredible. The best.
Incredible. By the end of the 80s, Cher was also receiving attention for her controversial lifestyle, though, including her tattoos,
Ooh.
plastic surgeries, exhibitionist fashion sense. I mean, why am I doing the gasping? Fucking take a hint.
Well, yeah.
And, no, one more.
Okay.
And affairs with younger men. Oh my God, Dave, you okay?
I can't breathe.
Yeah.
All of these things that, like, you know, I mean, she is celebrated for these things now, but, like, today, people would be like, cool.
But hasn't she worn like outrageous outfits the whole time? That's
Yes.
the thing.
And it's the 80s.
yeah.
How strange.
Yeah.
But they're like, okay, but she's from the 60s, so we have to apply 60s logic to this star.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's fair enough because, you know, that people are making it scandalous that she's with younger men because they were also scandalous when she was with an older man.
Yeah.
So I think
they were
fair's
definitely
fair.
upset about that, weren't
Yeah.
they? And rightly so.
Mm.
So yeah, so she's sort of like, I don't know, but she's still hugely famous. I think it's probably like the Lady Gaga meat dress and stuff. You know, like she was just out there. She was doing stuff differently, and that attracts attention.
And also, like, you know, the meat dress, no one actually cared. You'd probably go back and be able to find articles that found it scandalous.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Most people just thought it was pretty fun.
Nah, and or you just don't
Stupid
care
or
that
whatever.
much.
Yeah, exactly. I bet
Yeah.
it would have been the same back then.
Of
but
course.
You get these wowzer headlines. You're like, geez, back then. They couldn't even have a few tattoos
Yeah.
without going hog wild.
She had
Hog
tattoos
wild's
in
not the
that.
right term.
Hog wild.
Well, I don't think hog wild's right in this
It
case.
feels right though.
It felt right. Okay, great. Well, let's use it.
And I lied to you before. You were right, Matt, because her 19th studio album, Heart of Stone, came out in 1989. It was certified triple platinum, and the music video for its second single, If I Could Turn Back Time. So it was before we were born.
And not even the first single. It's so
Second
big.
single. It caused controversy due to Cher's performance on the battleship USS Missouri, straddling a cannon and wearing a leather thong that revealed her tattooed buttocks.
Most people were like, well, I'll be dead in the cold, cold ground before I recognize the battleship Missouri.
Yeah.
It is a wild film clip.
Yes, it is.
Is that so? Is that the real Navy?
What do you mean? The
That's
US.
the most scandalous thing. I just remember there being like hundreds of people. I just assumed they were
on deck.
were
she's
dancers or something.
They're on a real ship.
It's not a real ship. But are they
they're-
real Navy
They're
people?
on a real ship.
Right.
The USS Missouri.
Yeah, no, it's possible that they were real Navy people.
I doubt it.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, that she was on a cannon.
She was wearing like
If
a
I
leather.
could turn back time.
Yes.
Fuck, it's a good song.
And how old is she at this point?
This is in 1989. She was born in
40.
1946.
Okay, so she's early 40s. But she has a hit another 15 years later or something.
Yeah.
Or more. Something like that. It's wild.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Is it-
Back a turn.
I don't remember. Is the tattoo something funny on the butt?
I don't know.
There's a W on each cheek. So when she spreads them, it says "wow." It's like Wow Jones, the old footballer. That's the story. There's a W tattooed on each cheek. Wow Jones.
Wow.
It's a great nickname.
So funny.
Well, but that's one way to get your own nickname, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get the
Tattoo it on. It's locked in.
Tattoo first.
Good. I do want to flag, and I think I kind of said this at the start. I'm brushing over a lot of stuff too. Like I'm jumping through some decades and just picking up big stuff because, like, I mean, fuck, this is a career that spanned 60 years and she's still going.
Yeah, it's amazing.
She's done so much. She's released so much music. I could just list stuff at you, but I'm just trying to like give an overall picture and maybe tell you some stuff that you didn't know about.
Yeah,
Cher.
I'm a bit annoyed you didn't cover albums 13, 14, or 15.
I'm liking this because I found it a bit tedious when you had to drag up every detail when you did the Beatles report because there just wasn't much on them. So you had to really go
Yeah.
day by day on
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
And then
8 days a
Ringo
week I had to go.
What did Ringo have on the 8th day? Ugh.
Oh, bloody hell.
The Cheetos again? Is that a breakfast?
Yeah, Cheetos
Yeah.
and milk.
Flaming hot.
But this is something that I didn't know about Cher. In the early 90s, she developed chronic fatigue. She sort of caught a virus and it developed into chronic fatigue syndrome. And she was too exhausted to sustain her music and film careers. It was just like too taxing. But she needed to earn some money and she wasn't healthy enough to work on other projects. So she starred in infomercials.
What had she done with all the money?
no,
She was
that's-
earning $300,000 a week.
I know
No,
it's
it's
bad
crazy.
management or something.
No, but it's always these things with like, but people have that much money. Like so much goes into houses and logistics of your life. I don't know. I think once you have so much money, you just keep needing more money.
Sounds like a good system to me.
It's a great system.
I think we should stick with it.
but she
Some
did,
people think we should burn it down. Not me. I think this sounds good.
so I was more interested in the fact that she
Sorry.
did infomercials.
I also have never seen any of these.
yeah. They're on YouTube.
What
you
did
can
you like?
watch.
Sham Wow with Cher?
Well,
That's how she got the name.
it's mostly like health, beauty, and diet products.
Oh, wow.
A lot of like
okay.
shampoos and stuff like that. And this was unheard of, like such a big celebrity doing infomercials. Some saw her as a sellout. Others said it was like the end of her film career. She'll never come back from this. Saturday Night Live parodied her a lot. And she later said in an interview, "Suddenly I became the infomercial queen and it didn't occur to me that people would focus on that and strip me of all my other things." Like they wouldn't go like movie star.
Even though
This-
she's holding the Academy Award whilst talking about the diet
she's
pills.
just an infomercial queen. However, she made $10 million from these. She made great money. And look, we know that she is still a household name. It didn't end her music or acting career at all. But it was just this sort of like weird dip in the 90s where Cher was doing infomercials. I was like, what the fuck? So cool. I found that really
and
fun.
there's no shame in doing infomercials for $10 million cash.
No, I'd do them.
That's fucking awesome.
Fuck, I don't know if I would. No, I would.
Hell yes, you would.
But I hate them.
Do you?
Yeah. The ones on like the Today Show and stuff where they're in this fake
I love
set
watching them.
and
when
they're talking about health insurance or something.
Or they spill like water on a mattress protector.
Yeah.
or something.
I love the ladder guy. You know that ladder guy?
Yeah,
the
ladder
shaved
guy's
head?
good.
He's great.
And it's like this ladder. It's not one ladder. It's 58 ladders.
Exactly. I love that guy. I love that ladder guy. I'd hang out with him all day.
You know when you've run out of room for your 58 ladders?
It's not one ladder.
Where am I going to store all these ladders? I have to buy a second property just to store my ladders.
He's got the routine so down pat, and you've seen him do it in all these different scenarios. It's the same word for word,
Yeah.
and he's so excited about it every time.
Yeah.
Big Kev, rest in peace, was another great one.
Yeah.
Oh, he was excited.
He was excited.
Beautiful.
And of course, I can't go further without talking about Natural Glow.
Yeah. You love Natural
I love
Glow.
the lady who's so natural glow. Look at that, natural. Look at that, just put on natural glow.
So good. But yeah, Cher.
Apparently it's big in New Zealand. Like people from New Zealand, or whenever I bring her up, they message me, and I always forget her name. But the Natural Glow lady.
Natural Glow.
Natural Glow.
I've never seen it, but I love it. I love it.
So Cher's infomercials were mostly for hair products, the Laurie Davis beauty products, or like hairline. Anyway, just a little fun tidbit
Good on
there.
her.
Something that Matt alluded to before. In 1998, at the age of 62, Cher's ex-husband, Sonny Bono, died after a skiing accident in South Lake Tahoe in California. He lived a pretty weird and interesting life after Cher as well. He continued to have like acting roles here and there, but he also entered a career in politics. He became mayor of Palm Springs from 88 to 92 and served as the U.S. representative for California's 44th district from 1995 until his death in 1998.
Wow.
He was like a congressman.
Huh.
Upon
Didn't know
his
that.
death, his wife, Mary Bono, was elected to fill the remainder of her husband's congressional term. She was elected in her own right 7 subsequent times
Wow.
before being defeated in the election in 2012.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? So yeah, he quite famously
Imagine that.
died in that accident.
having that partnership and being like his less significant wife. Yeah, we're in Congress as a partnership for a couple of decades. Just a footnote, though.
And Cher did the eulogy. But Mary asked her to, apparently. She delivered a tearful eulogy at his funeral, calling him the most unforgettable character she'd met. She paid tribute to him by hosting the CBS special Sonny and Me, Cher Remembers, which aired in May of 1998. And that month, Sonny and Cher received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for television. Not to sort of brush over it, but yeah, it's definitely obviously a part of her life. I had always had it in my head that he had died much younger. Like I thought he'd died while still married to her or something like that. But they had long been divorced and he'd lived a whole life and he was in his 60s, but which is still, far too young. But I had it in my head that he was way younger.
Does he look sort of like the dad from the Addams Family? Because that's who I'm picturing.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I can't picture him, but I keep picturing
You've nailed it.
dad from Addams Family.
Gomez.
From the old TV version, I
The
mean.
black and white, beautiful.
Yeah.
Love that show.
Especially like in later years, I reckon. So like I think his there's a photo of him on his Wikipedia page that I think he definitely looks like.
Totally.
he looks
that
like the
smile
dad.
and everything and the mustache.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, good one there. So yeah, moving on from that very sad time, obviously. That same year, actually, 1998, Cher's 22nd album, Believe, was certified quadruple platinum.
That was 98, was it?
Yes.
I was thinking that was in the 2000s.
That was 98. It went on to be certified gold or platinum in 39 countries, selling 10 million copies worldwide. The album's title track reached number 1 in 23 countries. It became the best-selling recording of 1998 and 1999 in the UK and US.
You're kidding.
It earned Cher the Grammy for Best Dance Recording and the 1999 Billboard Music Award for Hot 100 Single of the Year. Crazy!
So 98, so now she's 52 or something?
And that's when Believe came out.
That's wild. Is that her last smash hit?
Probably.
But it's still, didn't it just win, a cover of it just won a Hottest 100?
Yes. That is correct.
Earlier this year.
Yep.
It's still like a huge song.
It's huge. It's absolutely massive. It's a great song. And it won all these awards. It was absolutely huge. And then she went out on tour. The Do You Believe tour ran from 1999 to 2000 and was sold out in every American city in which it was booked, amassing a global audience of more than 1.5 million.
Wow.
Finally, America's starting to pay attention.
At the 99 World Music Awards, she received the Legendary Award for her lifelong contribution to the music industry. And then she was back on the big screen as well. Her performance as a rich, flamboyant American socialite in Tea with Mussolini earned positive reviews, with one reviewer from Film Comment writing, "It is only after she appears that you realise how sorely she's been missed from movie screens. For Cher is a star. That is, she manages the movie star trick of being at once a character and at the same time never allowing you to forget that's Cher." You're like, I believe the character, but also that's Cher.
There's like a little sign above her head that they put in
Cher.
post. Cher.
A little neon light.
Am I remembering this right, Dave, that Andrew McClelland supported her
Yes.
recent tour? Is that true?
Yes,
Yeah.
he
Isn't that
opened for Cher.
Isn't that wild?
He listens to this podcast. He is a friend of ours.
Wild.
He's an incredible DJ.
He opened for the Cher
He
tour.
opened for Cher.
What
It's
a guy.
fucking crazy. I'm pretty sure there was he got a picture with her. And like he's in his usual, because he's a beautifully dressed man.
Probably Melbourne's best dressed man.
Always in like a 3-piece suit.
Okay, I'll take that personally.
Do take it personally. He's gorgeous and he's wearing like suspenders and he looks amazing, and she's in like this big sort of Vegas showgirl outfit. It's incredible. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe he opened for Cher. It was so cool. Yeah, massive. Anyway, so Believe has taken off. She's in movies still. She's just everywhere. In June of 2002, she embarked on the Living Proof, the Farewell Tour, announcing that it would be the final live concert tour of her career, although she vowed to continue making records and films. So she's like, I'm done doing the big tours. This is 2002. How old is she then?
She's
Where is she born?
she's born in
46.
46, so she's 56.
That's fair enough to, ease back on the touring life.
Yeah.
Especially a world tour.
And she's doing like
She's
huge dates.
Now eligible for those for retiree insurance that you see in those daytime ads that she probably used to advertise.
Initially scheduled for 49 shows, the worldwide tour was extended several times. By October of 2003, it had become the most successful tour ever by a woman, grossing $145 million from 200 shows and played to 2.2 million fans.
Wow.
Forbes named Cher the highest paid female musician of 2003, earning $33.1 million.
I hope she saved some of it.
Yeah, I think she probably did. Remember, it was supposed to be 49 shows? It was 326.
Wow.
Yeah, she's like, this is the last time I tour because it'll probably go for the rest of my life.
It ended in 2005. She toured for 3 years. It's one of the highest grossing concert tours of all time.
But that's still a show like every 3 or 4 days over a few years, right?
Yeah, it's fucking
300
crazy.
shows? Absolutely.
Lots of travel,
keeps
obviously.
going.
Yeah, wow.
And so then she retired, and then 3 years later, she came back in 2008 for a 3-year, 200-performance residency at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace, Las Vegas.
Okay, great. At least you don't have to travel. That's
Yeah, you just live in Vegas for a
you
few
come
years.
to Cher, okay?
yeah.
And for that, she earned a reported $60 million. It's so crazy. The show was called Cher, and the production featured state-of-the-art video and special effects, elaborate set designs, 14 dancers, 4 aerialists, and more than 20 costume changes. And I'm so upset I didn't see it. Imagine! Okay, here's a part. It's just a short bit, but I'm excited to talk about it. In 2010, she starred in one of my all-time favourite movies. And I say that not that because it's a good movie, but I fucking love it. Burlesque.
Oh.
Where she plays Tess, a sassy nightclub owner. Christina Aguilera is in it. Story-wise, bad. Christina Aguilera acting, not good. Whole movie, fantastic. 12 out of 10. Love it.
Whoa, okay. That's a
love it.
rollercoaster review.
My friend Lindy and I used to watch it. In fact, yeah, we are due to catch up soon, so we better watch it. But we would catch up twice a year and watch Burlesque.
And is it a cameo from Cher that everyone goes, oh my God, it's
No, she's
Cher?
pretty big in it.
Yeah, great.
She's a big character. Stanley Tucci's in it.
Tucci.
Kristen Bell's in it.
Okay.
It's a good cast.
Got my attention.
Sandy Cohen, Matt.
Oh, those eyebrows.
Yeah, so you're in.
Whoa.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Great
America's
movie.
Dad.
One of the 2 songs she recorded for the film's soundtrack, the power ballad You Haven't Seen the Last of Me, reached number 1 on the Billboard Dance Club Songs chart of 2011,
Oh, wow.
making Cher the only artist to date to have a number 1 single on a Billboard chart in 6 consecutive decades.
Wow. That is ridiculous.
Isn't that crazy? From the 1960s to the 2010s, she's had a number 1.
And occasionally you'll hear of Elvis has had through multiple decades, but they're posthumous releases and stuff.
Yeah.
This is like current
This
new
is her.
music each time.
Yeah. Not just someone sampling it or something.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
her putting out a
Incredible.
new track.
So cool. She's very funny in
And we're
it.
also only 3 years into this new decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's still time, Cher.
I believe.
Her other big movie of recent times was Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, the sequel. New York Magazine's Vivian Olin and Matt Harkins commented that it's only at the climax of the movie when its true promise is fulfilled. Cher arrives. It becomes clear that every single movie, no matter how flawless, would be infinitely better if it included Cher.
Where was Cher in Die Hard? Where was she?
How good is that? She recorded 2 ABBA songs for the film soundtrack, Fernando and Super Trooper, and Bjorn from ABBA said she makes Fernando her own. It's her song now.
Oh, I love that. I love when a songwriter says that's their song now.
Yeah, he's like, Fernando's yours. She
Obviously,
did it better.
Not for royalty reasons, but
Absolutely not. I will be taking the cash. Thank you very much. While promoting Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, Cher confirmed she was working on an album that would feature cover versions of songs from ABBA. The album, Dancing Queen, was released in September of 2018, and Rolling Stone wrote that the 72-year-old makes ABBA songs not only sound like they should have been written for her in the first place, but like they firmly belong in 2018.
Wow.
So it did really well
so
too.
she just recorded a couple for the movie and was like, I like this.
It's
I'm going
fun.
to do a few
She's
more.
like-
Hey, ABBA's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But also, my song now. Okay, I might take a few more. I'm going to take a whole album of them.
Thanks, Bjorn.
Absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, like I said before, I've brushed past a lot of impressive achievements in a career spanning 60 plus years. But to sum up a little bit as well, Cher has been hugely influential in the worlds of fashion, philanthropy, politics, and entertainment. She supports and is outspoken for several children's charities. She's been a vocal supporter of American soldiers and returning veterans. And when COVID hit, she launched the Cher Cares Pandemic Resource and Response Initiative, along with the head of Columbia University's Pandemic Resources and Response, to support chronically neglected and forgotten people through the pandemic. In 2020, she traveled to Pakistan to advocate for and work with the country's government to have Kavan, an elephant who'd been confined to a zoo for 35 years, transferred to a wildlife sanctuary in Cambodia.
Oh.
She's a queer icon. According to Maclean's magazine, Cher was one of the first to bring drag to the masses, as she hired 2 drag queens to perform with her at her Las Vegas residency in 1979. And she's also served as a role model for parents of queer kids, as her daughter publicly came out as a lesbian at the age of 17. And while Cher admitted she didn't have the best initial reaction to the news, she soon came to accept her child's sexual orientation and has been very, very publicly supportive, as Chaz Bono came out as a trans man in 2009. And that's kind of like, these are early times for this to be happening and in a really, really public setting. So Cher has been like a good sort of role model for other parents of queer kids, which is an important role.
It's also interesting. It was like quite honest to be saying that her initial
Yep.
response wasn't good.
I saw a interview with Parkinson where she sort of talks about her kind of initial reaction and feeling like guilt and blame and all these things, and Parkinson's sort of like, but you're a queer icon. She's like, I know, and I have so many gay friends and I love the gay community, and I just, I didn't.
That's strange.
Yeah. And I think partly, and I don't mean to speak for Cher, but
No, I think
I can.
You've read about her for a week.
I've read about her for a week. I know the woman, and I think part of her reaction was that she was kind of one of the last to find out. She was one of the last to be told. So I think maybe a little part of it is like you didn't feel comfortable telling me, and that can hurt a little bit, or you sort of feel like I did something wrong there. But anyway, she's been very, a great sort of supporter of the whole community for years. In fact, she was the keynote speaker for the 97 National Parents, Families and Friends of Lesbian and Gays Convention. And just to finish up, Cher is commonly referred to by the media as the goddess of pop, and Goldmine Magazine's Phil Marder said Cher has been and remains today one of the rock era's most dominant figures. As a solo artist, Cher has sold 100 million records worldwide, in addition to the 40 million as part of Sonny and Cher, making her one of the best-selling musical artists of all time. She almost has an EGOT. She's only missing a Tony.
There's still time.
There's still time.
Has she ever done anything Tony worthy?
With that musical with the longest title you've ever heard
Yeah,
of?
she's done a bit of Broadway stuff.
Jimmy
but-
Dean, Jimmy Dean.
Jimmy Dean. Get back to the diamond. Five and dime, Jimmy Dean. She's released 26 studio albums, 10 compilation albums, 2 soundtracks, and 3 live albums. She's appeared in 18 movies and numerous TV shows across 6 decades. In a 2001 poll, Biography magazine ranked her as their 3rd favourite leading actress of all time, behind Audrey Hepburn and Katharine Hepburn, the very women that a young Sherilyn Sarkisian admired and who dreamt of being famous one day.
That's incredible. And also, she's only been in 18 movies, and they're still like, yeah, the best.
One of the best we've ever seen.
whenever she's
I mean,
on.
how many was Audrey Hepburn in? She wasn't in that many, was she?
I don't know, we'll
Fuck,
find out.
maybe, yeah.
I had no idea she was such a good actress. And as you've read out a few of the movies, I've realised I don't think I've ever seen her in a movie.
You gotta watch Burlesque,
The
baby.
only one that came to mind was Mermaids. And I
Yeah.
don't know anything about it, and I don't think I've seen it, but maybe it's that she's a mermaid. That's what I've gleaned.
You're just guessing?
Yeah.
From the title.
Yes.
You can't judge a book by its cover, mate.
But is she in a movie called Mermaids?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this little Sherilyn Sarkisian dreamt of being famous, and you cannot deny that she frickin' did it.
She did it.
She did it, everyone.
Cher's done so much. So yeah, I wanted to just kind of like talk about some of the stuff that I didn't know about. I like to focus on the early years because we're so incredibly young. That was well before our time.
So young.
I wanted to talk about that. But yeah, that's my report on the goddess of pop, Cher.
Incredible. Loved it.
Thank you so much for bringing, I don't know a word for it, but bringing that knowledge to us and imparting it to us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for imparting that knowledge.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, I think, Jess, that might bring us to everyone's favourite section of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we get to thank some of our great supporters. And if you want to be one of these great supporters, you can do so at patreon.com/dogoonpod. And if you do get involved there, Jess, there's a few different ways they can get involved and things they can get out of it.
Yeah, they can get out of it lots of stuff, like voting on topics. You can be in our Facebook group, which is the nicest corner of the internet. You get early access to tickets to stuff and bonus episodes.
Oh, yeah. Big bonus episodes.
3 a month.
Holy moly.
And
That's crazy.
if we hit our target, because people like you sign up, we will be doing 4 a month, including a new D&D campaign.
That's honestly, it's like too good value.
Yeah. And that price won't change for the bonus episodes. The people getting 3 now, once we hit that new target, they'll be getting 4 for the same price.
Wild
Yeah,
stuff.
sign up your friends.
Yeah, it's a pyramid scheme.
Get their credit card details. I don't care if you have their permission. Sign up your dad. No, don't do that. And there's never any pressure.
No pressure. You can support the show
if
in
you
all
would-
sorts
if
of
you
ways.
would like to. Yeah, just tell some people about it.
Tell your dad.
Yeah.
Give it 5 stars
Ugh,
on a platform where you can rate it.
that'd
Put it
be
on your
so
Instagram story. You know, there's so many ways you can support us. But if you would like to do so with a little bit of cash, we won't say no.
Oh, you won't catch me saying no.
No, thank you.
In the Facebook group, the nice corner of the internet, there's often these Facebook swaps organised by Sophie Shooter.
Yeah.
And I got involved in one for the first time, and it was a T-shirt swap. I sent off a St Kilda Football Club shirt, and in return, I gotta say, almost rudely was given 3 T-shirts.
Whoa.
Now feeling like quite a cheapo.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. But I appreciate Kate's shirts, including one that is my new favourite shirt, which is the cover of the Shags album.
Oh, that is sick.
In T-shirt form.
That's great.
I haven't seen that on you.
Sorry,
yet.
Dave, you just missed your opportunity to tell Matt he's a piece of shit if you wanted to do that.
Oh, sorry, Matt. What a piece of shit you are.
There you go.
Okay, appreciate that.
One shirt? You gave one shirt, you tight man?
I was always planning. Anyway, doesn't matter. I've now got a time to reflect.
Yeah.
And,
do better.
See the real me. I'm looking in the mirror going, I'm a piece of shit. Maybe I can be better than that.
Yep.
Maybe not. I don't know. Let's find out.
I don't think you can.
No.
I'm sorry, Kate Robson, for that. For you being the person who opened my eyes.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can join on all sorts of levels, including if you get on the Sydney Scheinberg level, you get to be in a segment called the Fact, Quote or Question section, which has a little jingle goes something like this.
Fact, quote or question.
He always remembers the ding. She always remembers the sing. And the first one in this week is a great friend of the show, Murray Somerville. Now, if people want to be involved here, you can give us a fact, quote, a question, or a brag or a suggestion once you've signed up. You also get to give yourself a title. Murray, of course, is one of our great supporters and great artistes.
Yes.
He drew the Who Knew It with Matt Stewart logo.
Yep.
He also designed our Christmas card last year.
Yep.
Which is another Patreon reward. If you sign up, you get one of those each year.
Mm-hmm.
And with original artwork. It's always so good.
Pretty cool.
Murray Somerville has got the title Triptych Club Cleaner. Oh my God, that's a brutal job you've given yourself, Murray.
Yeah.
But we're so glad someone's finally taken the position.
I haven't been able to find the toilets there, so I'm going in some weird places.
And you're often behind the bar.
Yeah, but I wander off. Like a dog going to find a place to die, I go to find a place to shit.
And Murray is asking a question, writing.
Sometimes I forget our microphones are on. Yep.
This is more a question for advice. I have a neighbour who has asked me to take her rubbish out a couple of times a week because she has problems with her wrists and can't carry things. I've done this for the past couple of years. I don't know where this is going because I don't read them till I read them, but I'm loving this if we're going to become like a help desk type section.
I love to give advice.
I'm ready to
Mostly
give
dog
advice
shit.
on any topic.
Yeah. I've got opinions on everything.
I've done it for the past couple of years, but lately I've started to think she's taking advantage of me. She's a major germaphobe. I've seen her carrying her groceries up from the car park and carrying deliveries. She's definitely faking her wrist problems. I never used to mind doing this, but since I now feel like I'm being taken advantage of, I've started to resent taking her rubbish out. What would you do in this situation?
All right, Murray, here's what you're going to do. You're going to get yourself 2 fake casts. Put them on your wrists.
Great.
Say, I'm sorry, I've broken my wrists. Could you take my rubbish? No, don't do that, but just say you can't for a while and then just avoid her at all costs. Maybe move.
Oh, moving. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but
that's an instant out of I can't for a while. Would it be? Are you going to be able to do that yourself?
And as an artist, I think Murray could probably whip up a couple of casts.
Yeah,
I know he's more of an illustrator.
Yeah, but
he could draw them on.
Art skills are pretty transferable.
Yes, I think so. The final line here, though, might sway you, Dave. Before you give your opinion, she rarely even says thank you.
Oh, no, fuck her.
Fuck her.
That's bullshit.
And so is it just putting the bin out or taking the rubbish down?
Ooh.
Well, it depends on where you're living.
Taking her rubbish out, not sure.
I wonder if it is like he's going to her door, getting the bag from the kitchen, or putting the bin out to the street.
Oh, I think maybe he's taken the bag from the house to the bin.
That's too far. For someone who doesn't say thank you.
And I'm guessing she probably lives alone. But yeah, if she doesn't say thank you, but then again, the flip side of this could be he's seen her carrying other stuff. She's in a lot of pain and very uncomfortable carrying those things, but she doesn't want to bother him that much, to ask him to also help with groceries or something like that.
It's very tricky.
It is tricky. I'd go for the fake casts.
Yeah.
But then you can't put your own bin out, can you?
Murray, just let the trash pile up.
Yep.
Personally, what I would do is just keep taking out the rubbish and just fume internally.
Yeah.
And bitch to my partner all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if I don't do it again.
Or forget a few times. You
Yeah.
know? Get bad at it.
That's a tricky one, Murray. And I wish you all the best.
Wow, so helpful and committal. You just said you'd love to be a help desk, and then you gave no
He
advice.
never gives advice, though. His advice is always like, no, stay on the fence. Stay on the fence.
Stay where it's comfortable.
It's beautiful and dry up here.
Bottle up your emotions.
No, well, maybe you'd talk to her if that's not too full on. Just be like, hey, do you still need this done?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a freaking hard one.
I could never do that. I could never
100%.
have a conversation.
I'm all talk. No, I wouldn't do this myself. But also, next time I saw her carrying packages or groceries in, I'd be like, oh, your wrists are feeling better, are they?
Oof.
That's good. Yeah, I'd be a real passive-aggressive piece of shit.
Murray, wish you all the best. Please give us an update. Dave, what are you saying? So I like the fake casts. I think that's our best
Yeah, fake cast.
one. Do you have anything better
Could
than
he
that?
send her a package? She carries up and it opens up and it says, oh,
Gotcha.
gotcha. I guess your wrists are
Murray,
fine.
It's a
post
brick.
yourself to her
Oh, yeah.
in a box. She'll carry that
Get
inside.
inside.
You burst out of the box and say, we didn't have an issue with that, did you?
Yes.
Yes, or at least like a bowling ball. Something
yeah, okay.
very heavy.
Volleyball
if she-
with a camera on it.
Yeah.
If she's definitely faking it, I think then obviously fuck her. But like Jess says, what if she's just really struggling with her groceries?
I think what you need a private investigator.
Yes.
It's like a work cover claim.
Get
sort
a
of
dick
scenario.
onto her.
Yep.
All right, Murray, keep us posted. I'm in. Thank you.
And if anyone else in the Patreon group's got any advice,
Yes.
what would you do?
Tag Murray in the comments. And the next one comes from Katie Clays, aka coordinator of awkward moments. Oh, you could be used up at Murray's place, I reckon. And Katie's also got a question writing. I'm thinking about heading overseas in December/January, but not sure where to go. Any suggestions? I
Oh.
was thinking Spain or Italy.
Oh,
This is great to have the canvas wide open.
Why
Do we know
not
where
both?
they're from? Katie Clays.
I can find out. I think Australia.
Oh, great.
I do highly recommend Italy.
Which part, though? It's very big.
Yeah, I've been to Rome, Venice. I mean, Pisa, just for like the day, you know.
Beautiful.
Saw the tower, went, bloody hell, that's on its
Look at
bit of
that.
an angle, isn't it?
Lovely cathedral there. That was one of the most beautiful
Nah, I just saw the
cathedrals I've
tower.
been inside.
Where else did I go in Italy? Somewhere else.
Have you
Yes,
been to
Katie's in-
Florence is a big one?
Florence,
Katie's in
yes.
WA.
WA.
Okay, great. Because I was just wondering, like, if it's like in England or whatever, they've got the luxury of being able to go to Spain
Yeah.
for the weekend, basically.
I mean, Katie, why not do Italy and Spain?
That's what I think because they're quite close to each other.
Very
You could
close to each other.
definitely-
Very doable.
I mean, obviously, budget and everything. You know, if you can only go to one, I haven't been to. Oh no, I've been to Spain and Italy, but I was only in Italy for half a day, just popping through. Spain, I went to the running of the bulls, Pamplona, and on the way there, I found out that it's no good for the bulls. So I was
Yeah, as soon as you said that, I was like, that's not a very Matt Stewart
Yeah,
type
that's right.
event.
I thought, well, it's funny. I didn't look into it at all.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was like, it's a festival of the bulls. Running of the bulls, they'd love it. They must love it. And they're treated like kings. I didn't realize they either die by breaking down during the running or if they survive it, they then get stabbed to death at the end. I didn't realize it was.
Oh, God. Yeah, that doesn't feel...
And it's like,
Great, does
if
it?
They're running across cobblestone streets. And it's pretty. Anyway.
Yeah. And if you're going to go to Spain, don't do that or La Tomatina, the tomato throwing festival. It's fucked, to be honest.
I nearly did it once, and then I had tickets, and then I did look into it and went, oh, that looks awful.
Yeah, it was really bad. You get really... so you're on a crowded street, like you are squished up against people, and then a truck drives through. So you're just squished up against strangers, and it's not good.
Pamplona was very similar. You had to wear all white. Was it the same there?
Nah.
You had to wear all white. You wore these red bandanas, and this is like the after party. I didn't end up seeing any of the bulls, but after the after party, like I've drawn a very fine line there. I'm not going to do the bulls. I'll celebrate with everyone who did though. And it's just sangria, and everyone's just covered in sangria by the end. People are putting their hand down your pants. Pickpockets are rife.
Yeah.
Good fun.
Good fun.
People told me before I went, wear 2 pairs of pants.
Did you? Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, I can't remember. There was some sort of security system.
So maybe
but they had their hands in my empty pockets. I'd avoid any of it. I mean,
let's say Italy.
well,
Let's say go to Italy.
I mean, these are. I'm saying these are places where 22-year-old like me, Australians were.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I also got robbed in Barcelona, so
I really enjoyed Barcelona.
I vote Italy.
Okay. And that is, I mean, if you're going to Italy, go up to the north, maybe to the Swiss-Italian border, to a town like Gouda,
Yeah.
where my ancestors are from.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny little town. It's on my bucket list to go to.
Beautiful.
But yeah, I mean, they're both great.
France.
But geez, I'm excited for you, Katie. Dave's the guy to ask. He's the traveller.
Yeah.
Bloody jet setting.
I've been to
Magoo
Spain and
over
Italy
here.
a couple of times each. I think
Couple of times
they're
each.
very nice. I prefer the north of Italy. I think that is a good tip, rather than maybe the south. That was just my opinion. But yeah. So it's January, isn't it?
Yeah,
December,
December,
January.
January.
So
winter.
winter time.
It's a cooler time.
Yeah.
I think that.
That'd be nice.
But yeah, if you went to Madrid, that won't be freezing.
Thank you, Katie.
Lovely.
All the best. Let us know where you end up heading. Next one comes from Nathan Damon, aka Group Dad. Ask your mother. I'm watching the footy, and grab me another beer. Oh, Nathan, you're living a great life there. He's not give us a fact, a quote, or a question. He's given us a congratulations.
Oh.
Sending the biggest congratulations to Sophie and Gaddy J, who both, separately one would hope, are expecting.
Yeah.
As they say, it takes a village to raise a child, and you belong to a community that will ensure you both raise the most interesting kids. And Gary, commiserations on losing the Ashes. Hopefully, as it's 1-2 at the time of typing. Well, it ended up being 2-2, so.
But they didn't retain.
Didn't retain, but I think, Nathan, would probably agree. In the end, a fair result. I think Gary would too for the Ashes.
Mm.
At the time of recording, England's just beaten us in the World Cup soccer.
Yeah, we're a little salty about it. Nah, not really. I didn't give a shit.
It was a great tournament.
Yeah.
And we got a bunch of listeners who are big into the Lionesses English football team, so I'll be barracking for them in the final. And Spain as well, actually. Maybe that's where you should go, Katie. Go visit the Spanish women's football team headquarters. If they win. If not, fuck them. The final one this week comes from Amy Clark, aka Brigadier General, forgettable name.
Brigadier. No, because I won't say it because it'll get stuck in everybody's heads and you'll all be mad at me. Don't worry about it. Continue.
And Amy's asking a question, writing, "It's true, as my title suggests, that many people have been forgetting my name almost immediately upon meeting me for most of my life, and I've never minded much because I can get up to some crazy antics." In brackets, harmless.
Yeah.
But the little riff of you all forgetting my name when reading my last Fat Quote Question submission inspired this question. Have you regularly been referred to by a name other than your own, either accidentally or a joke? Oh, man. I don't know have I told you about this guy at when I was a trolley boy at Safeway in Moorabbin for many years. I worked with this guy, and ironically, I cannot remember his name right now. But he was like the lovely guy. He looked and acted like Pat Rafter. He was just like he was the loveliest guy, and
great example there too.
And I'd worked with him for probably 3 years at one point, and he came up to me and he goes, "Why'd they call you Matt?" And I said, "What?" And he looked at my badge and he said, "I've been calling you Mike."
For 3 years?
For 3 years. I hadn't noticed. He hadn't noticed.
You never heard him say Mike?
No, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I can't remember his freaking name. But geez, he was a handsome
Sounds
man.
like that's what he deserves.
Yeah, has that happened to either of you?
So what's the question that somebody forgets your name?
Has anyone ever called you by the wrong name?
Yeah, my uncle. Sure, have I told you guys this story before?
I'm not sure.
So my dad's one of 8 kids, right? His eldest brother is 16 years older than him, and like moved to Canberra, you know, while my dad was still. Anyway, you should still know your nieces and nephews' names. He came to visit us one time. We were living in Rebecca Court, and he said to me, I was about 8, I couldn't remember if you lived in Jessica Court and your name was Rebecca, or you lived in Rebecca Court and your name was Jessica. He said that to my face, and I was like, hi, Uncle Phil. Like, I know you. Anyway, it's quite. It's funny, and it's become this like long running joke. And one time, when I was still living at home, and I was like in my late teens, I was in my room. I could hear that somebody had arrived, like, and we weren't expecting anybody. Somebody was in the house, and I was like, oh, I'll finish what I'm doing and I'll go down. And my brother comes to my door and knocks on my door and goes, "Hey, Beck." And I was like, oh, I know, it's Uncle Phil.
That's good stuff.
Funny stuff.
Now that you're a bit older, do you feel any more empathy for him?
Nah.
Oh, because I have friends, kids, even some of them, you know, Tom's nieces and nephews. I have to like take a second and
Sure, but do you say it to their face?
probably.
I have no idea what your name is.
Probably wouldn't say it to their face.
Anyway, good
unless
to
I
see
really
ya.
respected them,
Yeah. No, it's just
which I don't.
it's just a funny story. It's just pretty funny.
But now you've put it in my head. Did you live on Jessica Court?
Yes.
Okay, sorry,
My
Rebecca.
name is Rebecca.
Sorry, Rebecca, about that. Dave, this would have happened to you all the time when you're rocking up to playing Santa and stuff.
Yeah, people keep calling me Santa, and I'm like, no, I'm Dave.
My name's Dave, you
The kids
idiot.
are like, Santa, Santa. I'm like, who the fuck is the Santa bloke? I'm Dave. Look
Look at my name
Pull the
tag.
beard down. Look, it's me, Dave.
Here's my Facebook. Check it out.
It's me, Dave.
No, just people frequently mishear your name as Steve on the phone, often
Yeah.
for ordering food. And
Okay,
they'll-
and that sucks for you, Dave, but I get Jeff.
that sucks. But I had to commit to a place before and just be like, yeah, whatever. And
Yeah.
you go to that piece of place knows you as Steve.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, I'm Steve now.
It doesn't matter. What name is it? What, it's
Exactly.
just,
Doesn't matter, as long as you're
That's
getting
just
your
a-
pizza.
Get my food. But Jeff.
it's just a
Jeff.
code for you. You over
Exactly,
there.
yeah. I'm at number 86.
Working in
Whatever.
a call centre one time, I answered the phone and said, Jess speaking, and it was an old man. He said, sorry, what was your name? And I said, Jess. And he goes, Steph? And I said, no, Jess. And he goes, Catherine? And I went, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
It
right.
doesn't
How can I help
matter.
you?
Yeah.
Who cares?
I
Yeah.
got Mac once, which I really liked. I'm like, that's
Ooh.
way better than Matt.
That is. Sorry,
It's
but
so
that is.
similar, but so much better.
So much better. It's way
Mac,
cooler.
yeah.
Mac. Sorry about your shit name.
It's okay. These things happen. Anyway, Amy finishes by answering her own question, which we always
We
encourage
love.
them to do, saying, I often get Emily and Amanda, which is an easy step from Amy, but one college acquaintance regularly called me Sarah, and I just never corrected her because I thought it was funny. A friend of a friend once introduced me to her husband as Tina, for still unknown reasons. Finally, when still working as a funeral director, a grieving daughter repeatedly called me Deb during an arrangement. I gently corrected her twice, and she was so embarrassed I stopped and I just relented to being called Deb for a few weeks.
Oh my God.
Imagine being embarrassed and then still doing it. I'm so sorry, Deb.
I'm so sorry, Deb. I thought your name was Deb.
Deb, I feel horrible.
Won't happen again, Deb.
Sorry, Deb. So I was saying your name is Deb, but it's Deb. She's like
It's the
Groot.
inflection I'm saying wrong. She's like Groot. All names are Deb. Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Well, that brings us to the next little section where we thank a few of our other great supporters. Jess normally comes up with a bit of a game based on the topic at hand.
Yeah, I'm going to assign them a Cher song.
I love that. Okay.
I've got Spotify open, so
So
I'm
the
going to
next
pick at random.
9 names are going to read out. Maybe while Jess is doing that, Dave, you and I can just go one for one. Save you from...
Beautiful.
Great. Is that okay?
Yeah, love it.
Awesome.
And yeah, if anyone... Because I know a lot of people want a theme song. They want a song to play when they walk into a room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to pick one. But you know who's good at picking it? Triple J DJ.
That's right.
She loves music.
Love music.
Jess Bop Perkins.
We love new Australian music. So let me
some
list
Cher.
you some Cher songs.
Well, Triple J, Hottest 100 winner. DMA's.
Yeah.
Do you believe?
Fuck, it's so good. The DMA's version's incredible. Oh, man.
They're great. Like their vibe.
Like their stuff.
All right, I'll kick us off from Jamestown in Pennsylvania. I'd love to thank Jacob Young.
Jacob Young's song is Love on a Rooftop.
Love on a Roof.
It was an updated version of Fiddler on the Roof, the musical. The fiddler got more fiddly.
The fiddler got fiddled. Is that something?
It's the sequel to The Fiddler on the Roof. Love on the Roof. Fiddler gets fiddled.
All right.
Consensually. Brackets.
Yeah, it's important.
I can see now why Matt wanted to go 1 for 1.
I didn't even. Sorry.
To thank now from Iceland.
Well,
and
this plays right into your expertise.
so much appreciation for your support from Iceland, the most beautiful country I've ever visited.
Oh, what a great tip for Katie.
It's great. And January, you could see the Northern Lights.
You got to. Katie, come
Katie,
on. Come
you
on.
gotta go to Italy, or you want to see the Northern Lights?
You just heard how much we had a horrible time in Spain.
Bad time in Spain.
Dave wouldn't even bring up what happened in the south of Italy.
You won't talk about
They
it.
know what they did.
We've tried.
I had a great time in Spain.
So,
I would like to go back to Spain to replace those terrible memories, but I did have a bad time.
Nothing but great memories of Spain. But the chances of seeing the Northern Lights in Iceland in January are incredibly high. Because January has just a few hours of daylight. So you will have to contend with a lot of darkness, but believe me, it'll be worth it.
Great.
And this person, I'm sure they see the Northern Lights where they're from Seltjarnarnes in Iceland, which is not far from Reykjavik, the capital. I would like to say a big thank you to Greta Orn Hjartarson.
Man, I frickin' am so pumped at how we've got Patreon supporters and listeners from Iceland.
So cool.
If we could please spread the word in Iceland. I would love to do a small show there.
Imagine.
I'd love to. If we could
It would be a huge financial loss for us.
But even if we could get 50 to 100 people in a small room in Iceland, wouldn't that be incredible?
Oh, man. I can't believe there are like a good handful of Patreon supporters who, I'm guessing they're like friends and family.
Surely.
Or are they all unrelated? That'd be hectic. I love it.
They're about to be friends and family.
Oh, my God. To me.
Yeah.
Will you unofficially marry me?
And let me, before we assign them a Cher song, let me tell you about Seltjarnarnes. On the quiet mountain view peninsula of Seltjarnarnes, a nature path leads up to Grotta Island, known for its lighthouse and rich bird life. Visitors dip their toes into a footpath, a compact geothermal pool by the water's edge. Doesn't that sound beautiful?
That sounds
so
so
nice.
good.
That sounds so...
Dave, I could just listen to you reading that in my ears going to sleep. That'd be the way to go. Can you just record that website? Just read it.
Just reading
Yeah.
it
for an hour.
Icelandic places.
That'd be nice.
Holy shit, that was beautiful.
Well, a Cher song is The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore.
Oh, feels appropriate.
Feels right.
That's great. On you, Greta. Thank you so much.
Next person I'd love to thank comes from address unknown, can only assume from deep within the fortress of the moles. It's Brody Leonard.
You wouldn't know love.
Brody. You
And
wouldn't
a
know
song. Brody Leonard. Leonard's a great surname.
Beautiful.
I think.
that. Good one.
It sounds like leopard, I think, is why I like it.
Yeah, I see. I get that.
Def
Oh,
Leonard.
yeah.
Def Leonard.
The drummer from Leonard only got one arm. Thank you so much, Brody Leonard, for your support.
I would like
Sorry, Dave can't give you some... He can't commentate your place.
I know, we don't
of
know where
origin,
you
so I don't
are.
know where you are.
But I'd love to. From Mount Nazura in Western Australia. Love the sound of this already. Ethan Lynham. Ethan Lynham.
Line them up. What do we got?
I had a good one just before. Oh, we all sleep alone.
That's a bit defensive, Cher.
Do we?
This is it. Was this in her chastity era? Oh, we all sleep alone, I swear. I certainly haven't been sleeping with anyone.
That's from the Cher album. Cher.
Wow, doesn't sound like she is. Not her bad, anyway.
Thanks, Ethan.
I'd love to thank from Flemington, right here in Melbourne, Victoria, Tessa Brown.
Bewitched, Bothered and Bewildered. Featuring Cher. It's a collab with Rod Stewart.
Oh.
The hair
Were
at the
they
same
both
time?
doing-
Yeah, both had the hair.
Incredible.
Flemington's a great spot to live. Did you end up going to get
Oh, yes, I went to the Luxor King.
Luxor King in Flemington?
I didn't get a Luxor because I don't love it, but they did have incredible curry puffs. Probably the best I've ever had.
It's a great spot.
Some chicken satay skewers.
That's a good day.
That's my hot tip. You can't book there. You can't book. You just walk in. They have thousands of people. It's the
I used
biggest,
to live walking
huge.
distance from there. And maybe Tessa does still.
Get in there.
At the time, I was very excited because I was still going to horse races. And I was walking distance to the Flemington racetrack. I'm like, I'm living in paradise.
This is the best.
Luxor King one way, Flemington racetrack the other. Holy shit.
How goes this? I would like to thank from Norwood Young America, that's what it's listed as, in Minnesota, it's Joseph Lemmer.
This is a track with Meatloaf. It's called Dead Ringer for Love.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
That sounds right in both their wheelhouses.
Yeah.
Geez, she has collaborated.
Yeah. She's been around for a long time.
Norwood Young America.
Yeah, apparently I'm looking it up now just to...
Oh, my God.
Oh, sorry. The city was formed in 1997 from the merging of two formerly independent cities, Norwood and, would you believe, Young America.
Named after the Bowie song? No.
Young America.
Yeah. I'd love to now thank from Portland, Oregon, near where we may be coming soon.
Not far from
Not
Seattle.
far from Seattle. I'd love to thank Michael Foreman.
Save up all your tears.
What for?
Then
A rainy day.
That's not for me to decide.
Okay.
yeah, what do we do with them? All right.
Thank you so much, Michael. Go Trailblazers. Is that Portland? Portland Trailblazers?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, why not? I would like to thank from London, a beautiful place that we've been to many, many times. It's Rin.
The Shoop Shoop song.
Oh, yeah.
Shoop, shoop.
Parentheses, it's in his kiss.
Oh, that's is that from Mermaids?
If you wanna know if he
I forgot
loves
about
you
that one.
so, it's in his kiss.
That one was, that was attached to a movie. I remember the
Yeah.
film clip had clips from the movie, maybe.
Don't know.
And finally, I'd love to thank from Broadview Heights in God's country, Ohio. It's Megan.
Megan gets Welcome to Burlesque from the Burlesque
Wow, that's a big one for
original
you.
motion picture soundtrack.
That's such an honor.
It rules.
That also sounds like a perfect, theme song to enter a room with.
Yeah.
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 Thank you so much, Megan, Michael, Joseph, Tessa, Ethan, Brody, Greta, and Jacob. And the last thing we need to do is welcome a few of our great supporters into the Triptych Club. Now, these people have been supporting us on the shout-out level or above for 3 straight years. So they're welcomed into the club and they've got lifetime access, whether they like it or not. Jess, you're working behind the bar. It's a bit of theatre of the mind. What are we
Yeah.
serving up today?
I've got Cher-themed cocktails. And, because she's such a fashion icon, I've put bell-bottom jeans on little Frankfurts.
That's actually really classy.
Jess is losing it.
That's a beautiful touch. I really hope Cher can come by because I think she'd really appreciate that.
I think that's a really
As a
beautiful
fashionista.
homage. But you have to take them off before you eat the
Oh, you got to take them
Frankfurt.
off. They're not edible jeans.
They're not.
Are you going to reuse them?
Yeah.
You're going to take them to a tiny laundromat?
This is like the time the soup was really hot. I just made myself cry. That's so stupid. Anyway, so yeah, enjoy your fashionable Frankfurts.
I think this is going to change culinary cuisine forever. Are there any other kinds of cuisine?
They refuse to serve them in the Hilton.
Yeah.
And Dave, you normally book a band for the after party.
You're never going to believe it.
What?
I've actually got an incredible band to reunite for this after party. Been in negotiations for several months, which is incredible because I didn't know this band existed before today, but still somehow I've booked them. Heading the stage at 5 to midnight tonight will be none other than Black Rose.
Whoa.
Featuring Cher.
She is going to be here. Oh, she's going to be able to see the Frankfurts.
Holy shit.
That's
Performing
exciting.
hits from their one album, as just said, Black Rose, which I'm on the wikipedia.org page, the Cher website. It says, the album was a commercial failure. It failed to chart and has sold only 400,000 copies worldwide.
Whoa.
Only 400,000.
I want to get involved in that level of failure. That's amazing. Cover to cover, that'll be played, I assume.
Oh, absolutely.
And then maybe some greatest hits afterwards. We're still in discussions with Cher. Can I have Cher's number?
Yeah. You won't abuse it.
All right, so I've got 6 names to read out. 6 people are being inducted into the club. I've got the list right in front of me. I'm going to lift the velvet rope. If you hear your name, charge on in. Dave's on the stage. He's the hype man. He's going to hype you up, get the crowd going. Jess is there to hype up Dave because he's got low self-esteem and low skills in this case.
6?
We've got 4, and I appreciate you correcting my maths there.
And interrupting you. I'm very sorry.
No, I appreciate it because when numbers go below 5 and I can only count with one hand, that's when I get mixed up.
Yeah.
So if it's 4, I'll sometimes think, wait, is that 6?
Is that 18?
Yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah.
Anything under 5 is tricky for me. So if I could read out these 4 names. Firstly, welcome into the club. Here from Strathmore in Victoria, here in Australia, it's Nicola.
I haven't had enough Nicola. I need Strathmore.
Yeah, more Nicola.
Next up from Mount Gambier in beautiful South Australia, it's William Northcote.
Look, I'm not usually much of a Gambier, but I'm going to put it all on red, aka William Northcote.
Yes.
Gambier sounds a bit like gambler.
No, I was very clear.
Gotta know when to hold 'em. And next up from address unknown, can only assume from deep within the fortress of the moles, please welcome in Harris.
I was embarrassed until Harris got here.
Yes, 'cause-
lift the level of the class.
Oh, great. Yeah, okay.
What were you going to say?
I've thought like that even more embarrassing than you. And so by comparison,
no,
you felt
no.
better.
More
But
like
they lifted
they
the
lift
whole
the class.
place. Yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah.
There was nothing there to identify Harris, if you are listening. Harris's email address is Brett something. So if...
I feel inbretted to you, like debt.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
And finally, please welcome another Aussie from Thomastown here in Victoria. It's Len Dines.
Lemmy dines with you
tonight.
tonight.
Oh, yes. Take a seat.
Welcome.
Take a load off.
Welcome into the club.
Have a
Make
Frankfurt.
yourselves at home. Have a Frankfurt. Take off those jeans. Please don't eat the jeans. Not edible.
Not your jeans. Leave your jeans on. Take the jeans off the Frankfurt.
Oh, my
Len,
God.
leave your jeans on, Len.
Welcome
God's
in
sake.
Len, Harris, William, and Nicola, and leave those goddamn jeans on, Len. And that brings us to the end of the episode. Anything we need to tell people before we head off, Jess?
That we love them and that we're sorry about the Frankfurts. You can suggest a topic. Anybody can. You don't have to be a Patreon or anything like that. You can suggest a topic. There's a link in the show notes. It's also on our website, which is dogoonpod.com, where you can find information about live shows and the other podcasts we do, like Who Knew It with Matt Stewart and Book Cheat and others. Also, wash your butt.
Oh, good advice.
Always wash your butt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dave, boot this baby home.
Well, before we go, we're going to say, Cher, if you're listening, we love you. And everyone else listening, we also love you. We'll be back next week with another episode. But until then, also thank you so much for listening and goodbye.
Later.
Bye.